feels like over here in the Northwest.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel. And granted, like there were plenty of storylines with the Storm and the Sounders and Husky women are doing well. But like my initial beat as a reporter was the Seahawks, so that's where I start. So if you're offended that I'm focusing on the Seahawks, Mariners, and Kraken and Husky men's basketball, that's just where my own background is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's where I tend to focus first. And I feel not uninspired. I can find something interesting everywhere, but like I feel like there needs to be some life breathe back into some of these teams. Like they need to get their groove back. Where are the stars? Where's the excitement? Where's the news? What makes you guys excited about these teams right now? Genuinely, I'm asking that genuinely. If your answer is nothing, that's telling.
Yeah, you got to find something. Like every day when you wake up, you find something to motivate you, right? Today, for me, it was, today's cardio day. You're going to burn 1,000 calories before work and feel great, and your mind is going to be stimulated, and you're going to be good to go, right? Every day you wake up, you got to find something, and that's what we have to do with these teams in this area. And it's interesting because new Kraken head coach, new Seahawks head coach, now going into a second year, right? New manager over there, new Skip over there with the Mariners. So there's some change that is happening. So when I look at the Mariners, the thing that gets me excited or keeps me optimistic is the potential change that could be happening. We all understand that the Skip don't do too much during the game, right? He works with the rotation, calls the bullpen, bring little Bobby out, let him throw the heater. Like that's kind of where he affects the game. I think right now during spring training is where he's doing the most work, where he's establishing his culture. He's getting to know his players. He's talking to his assistants. He's making sure that everyone is on the same page. And him doing that leads me to Julio. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Julio has to get me excited. I went back and I looked at just his splits through April, May, and June. I got rid of March. March is like a game or two or whatever, right? April, May, and June. Rookie season, averaged 205 in April, 309 in May, 280 in June. 0 home runs in May. 0 in April, home runs in April, 5 in May, 7 in June. Then I go over to April, 2023. In April, batting average 240, 252, 220, up and down. Bombs. I'm just looking at bombs. Real simple stuff, right? 5, 5, and 3. Then RBIs 12, 18, and 11. Not horrible starts, but not great starts. And then we go to 2024. Average 267, 274, 206, kind of dipped a bit. Look at home runs 1, 3, and 3. RBIs 10, 10, and 8. So we saw him get off to this great start that everyone talks about. That's why he got his money. That's why he got paid. And then there's been a little rise and dip. So I go back to Dan Wilson and him bringing on Edgar Martinez. And I tell myself, and I'm hoping that Julio's taking in all this knowledge. He's getting all these ABs, and he's going to go out and look calm, look confident, and just start off. You don't have to be hot. Just be lukewarm. Start off lukewarm and give us something to be excited about, because this is Julio's team. We talk about the rotation. We got Walter out there, Castillo, Wu, Kirby, all those dudes, right? But what it comes down to is, can this offense get going? We're pretty sure that the rotation is going to be fine. So what gets me excited about the Mariners, Julio having the great Edgar Martinez in his ear, whispering sweet nothings and getting him to start off the season better than he has the last couple of seasons.
In terms of where's the star or where can the life come from, I completely agree with you. If I were to think, okay, of the 4 teams that like I've covered or that I've looked at, Julio, regardless of like, I tend to watch football more closely, it's Julio. Julio is the biggest star of any of these teams. The potential for life, the defibrillator, like the moment that you can inject more life into some of these sports teams is by Julio playing like an MVP, period. That is your best way. It would be great if J.P. Crawford had a big season. It would be great if the Mariners could be competitive. But ultimately, what drives you to watch sports? Yes, loyalty. You're from there. You're born there. Your parents went there, whatever it is. But you still need stars. You still need someone to root for. You need something to believe in. Like, central to sports is the idea of hope and the idea of wanting to believe in something. And I just thought it would be more interesting to talk about where is that right now? Like, instead of coming up with some fake segment I didn't believe in, being like, well, let's talk about this because I'm trying to think of something. I was like, wait a minute. I'm really struggling right now. Why? What's missing? What am I looking for? What do I need as a Seattle sports fan? I need a star to take off. I
need stars to take off, and I need the change to be evident. I need fans to show up on opening day and give it a series or two and feel like this team is exactly what management has told you they're going to be. So now I shift over to the Seattle Seahawks. And it's weird because
it's a weird
you're
one.
asking what stars are going to get you going. To me, it's not about the stars. It's about Kubiak. Kubiak, right? We were excited last year when Ryan Grubb got the job, especially here in Seattle, Mountain Lake down the road, national championship appearance, UW, where they were the standard of West Coast football for a couple of years. You go ahead and you grab their offensive coordinator. What is this offense going to look like? We knew that they were going to throw the football. You got Roma Dunze and McMillan. I'm sorry for forgetting the other young man's name that's in the NFL now, plays for Tampa Bay, I believe.
Jalen Polk.
Thank you, Polk. We got those receivers out there getting it done. You're like, look, the pass game should be crazy. What are the concerns? Can the run game get going? Ryan Grubb did enough to sell Mike McDonald that, look, I can get this run game going. We are excited. First 3 weeks comes out. We're watching them do their thing. They're 3-0. We're doing our happy dance. Life is good. And then the New York Football Giants come along, and they beat you up.
Don't want to ever talk about that game
They
again.
beat you up. They beat you up, and now we have some questions. You make some moves.
Yeah.
So you had to hit the reset button. That's what Mike McDonald did. He hit the reset button as far as personnel during the regular season, getting rid of those linebackers, bringing over Robertson-Harris, and Leo takes off. What's keeping me excited about this Seattle Seahawks is that I firmly believe that Kubiak's going to get the run game going. With Grubb, you had to imagine it. He had a 1,000-yard rusher over there.
Always potential.
Right? He had a 1,000-yard rusher, but he also had the best offensive line in college football, and there are about 190,000 D1 football players in college, right? So you can look at these big hogs over there in Mountain Lake and tell yourself, cool, he has a run game. We can get it going. He's going to run the zone. But to his core, Ryan Grubb was a pass-first type of guy. Kubiak's offense is a run-first type of offense. The run is going to set up the pass. And I think you and I, Stacy, and a lot of people listening feel like if you get the run game going, the pass is going to open up. That allows Geno to not have to feel the pressure of sitting back there, patting the ball 3 or 4 times, waiting for these long concepts to come open and have to play hero football. So that's what keeps me going. It ain't DK. I'm almost positive DK is going to be back. I hope he's going to be back. I know the morning show feel like some might go down. I hope they're wrong, right? We know Geno's going to come back. They've been saying that for months now. They're tired of talking about Geno. We feel like Lockett probably not going to be here. Jason's going to be there. The personnel is set when it comes to the skill positions. If you bring DK back, got to work in that offensive line. But it's Kubiak. It's Kubiak, his run game specialist, his new offensive coach that gets me excited and saying, what can you do with the personnel that's already here?
I agree. And the way I look at it very similarly is like this. With the Mariners, I see the potential for a superstar, and I desperately want that. I want a superstar. I want someone that when I listen to baseball tonight, they're talking about a player on my team. With the Seahawks, I want personality. That can come from establishing the run game and, as you said, the hiring of Kubiak and what you can do there. Maybe it comes with adding additional depth at some defensive spots. I want to know what kind of team I'm looking at. And this team, during its best days under Pete Carroll, had a personality. And the best teams have a personality. Sometimes it doesn't pay off. You still lose. You still might not win a Super Bowl.
Right.
You know, having a personality, having an identity doesn't guarantee anything.
Jameis Winston got a hell of a personality.
He does.
Ain't winning ball games.
No, it doesn't guarantee anything, but God, does it make it fun to watch.
It does make it fun.
That's
Imagine
what I want.
Jameis, all right, side note. Imagine Jameis Winston was our backup here. How fun would that be?
Quotable.
Man, we be interviewing him like he's Jerry Jones after the game. Had nothing to do with the game, but we're interviewing Jameis
On the bench
Winston.
the whole time. He's coming up. Hi. Any questions for me?
Like, what'd you see, Jameis? What's going on out there?
Yeah.
But no, I like that
You know?
that personality because
Yeah.
when you think of the Ravens, they have a personality. Even if you can't put words to their personality, you see it and you feel it. The Kansas City Chiefs have a personality. The Bills
Lions.
have a personality. The Lions, right? The teams that are successful. The Rams have a personality
They do.
now. They are contenders. Teams that are successful and make runs at this, you can identify. You might not be able to describe it with one word, or maybe it takes you a sentence to describe who they are, but you look at the logo, you watch them play, you know what they're about. Defensively, I feel like I know what this team is about. Now it's about having the offense catch up.
I simply cannot have a Seahawks team without an identity, without personality, and a Mariners team with no offense and no superstars. I want the Mariners to win a World Series. I want the Seahawks to win a Super Bowl. I can deal with not reaching those next year if it means I see something exciting. Do I see something that makes me want to tune into the next season? Like, I can't tell you how many times, and I know you're seeing it too, you see texts from people going, man, this is this is a weird off season. There's just like some life missing from, Seattle sports. I don't pay close. I'm a horrible UW graduate. I don't pay close enough attention to the upcoming classes, recruiting classes for men's hoops. I know I had a listener text in and say, hey, Sprinkle's got a good class coming in, but I am tired of that program underperforming.
And it's different now. You got a good class coming in. If we're talking high schoolers, then you're probably not going to be too competitive. We're talking transfer portal. We're talking, then maybe you got a shot. I want to remind somebody, 206 says DK is talking to Green Bay. Green Bay doesn't play. Let's remind DK is under contract right now.
He can't talk to anyone.
So Green Bay would have to talk to the Seahawks and give them an offer they cannot refuse when it comes to DK. That's what makes me believe or hope that DK is going to be here, because the Hawks should and will ask for a lot when it comes to DK. They should say, you know what, we want a first-round pick. Knowing you're not going to get one, but that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with a first round. What do you have? So we'll see what happens with that. DK ain't talking to nobody. It is the organizations talking to each other.
With the Kraken, I just want more aggressiveness from the front office. And for me, the novelty of having a new team has worn off. And I don't like the idea ever of a team being like, we're a tourist attraction. And I don't think that that's how these teams view themselves. They know that more money and more ticket sales and more attention is good. It's always
talking
profitable.
Football, we talking baseball.
All of them. So if you catch
you
my
think the
drift,
Mariners, you think the Mariners, they give me that kind of tourist
sometimes
attraction
they do.
feel.
I think that the Mariners, I think the reason, yes, I think that the Mariners do value, like, we want to be good enough to bring people here, but we're hesitant to spend. Absolutely. I don't think they're stupid, though. I think that they know that there's money to make in being successful. They're just hesitant to spend the money it takes.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like, they know that making the playoffs and going to a World Series is profitable, but the risk is maybe a little too scary.
And what the Mariners do well is that they put on a show. I have only been to other ballparks I've been to are the Dodgers and the Angels, and I was a kid back then, so I don't have like great memories of the in between the innings type of things, right? I don't know if they were dropping glizzies from the sky at Dodger Stadium. I don't remember that. I remember beach balls being hit all through the stadium. The thing that the Mariners do a great job of just selling the experience. There is summertime at T-Mobile Park, I love it.
Poppin'.
Sometimes I could care less about the game. I'm just sitting there enjoying the sun. If Julio goes yard, I'm like, hey, let me check the score. I'm going to watch the game anyway when I get back to the house. Like, it is an experience, and the Mariners do a great job of doing that. If they can only connect the guys on the field to the experience that you're having, there could be something special up here. And I think if they looked at that situation like that, maybe they would be willing to spend a bit more and put a team out there that you feel like has a chance as soon as the first pitch is thrown on opening day. Right now, we're looking at that team and saying, maybe if he does this and he does that and he does that, then
I hate that.
you never know. You have a chance.
I'm just so sick and tired of any kind of meek approach, and I hate underperforming, and it happens. Coming up at 10:45, we're going to talk about teams that just have it bad right now. Like, it happens. It's sports. You're going to go through moments where your team's underperforming, where they have to take a step back, where, some prospects or some drafted talent or whatever didn't work out. It's sports. It happens. Like, you don't have the same teams winning championships every year for a reason, but it is hard when you feel a lot of your own team struggling at the same time. And when you want to feel like there's hope there, and you want not only to feel like there's hope there, by that I mean Julio, right? Some pieces that you have. You want to feel like the front offices or the coaches or whoever is in charge of all of these teams, all of these programs, care deeply about raising the bar. I am 5'2". If I can clear your team's bar, it's too low. Like, you need to push forward. The Seahawks, I would love to see them really establish a personality. The Mariners, not only would I love to see Julio become a superstar that makes watching baseball fun, but I want to see them invest more money. I want all of these things. Bump, I know you do too. You're a diehard basketball fan. I know that you want both the Cougs and, maybe reluctantly the Huskies programs. The women are fine. But
I ain't mad at them.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
But
different conference now. It's all good.
Exactly. But like I would love to see Seattle in the Northwest be like a basketball hub again, like where a lot of talent comes from. We do have a lot of local talent. So I just I don't know, it made me refocus a little bit. And Bump, I think it's nice to think like, okay, what do we have here? What are we looking at? What's making us excited? Where can we invest?
This time of year, most fan bases should be excited about something, unless you are maybe the Cleveland Browns, the Oakland A's, or Sacramento A's, whatever you want to call them,
Right.
and a few other franchises who we'll probably talk about later. Most fans have something to get themselves up. And believe it or not, here in Seattle, you still have some star power. You have some change
That's
happening.
true.
So we're seeing if it all just shows itself on the diamond, on the field when it's all time to do it.
I feel better now.
You do?
do feel a little bit
Okay,
better.
good.
Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Vikings reportedly won't franchise tag Sam Darnold, leaving him free to sign elsewhere in free agency. What's the real headline?
Are we looking at the Raiders' next target here, Bump?
I don't know. It sounds like they still want to keep him there, though. They just don't want to franchise tag him. They don't want to commit $40 million for 1 year. But if you look at Spotrac, that's what his market value is about $40.1 million. A franchise tag for a quarterback is $40.2. So what I think they're trying to do is give him a bunch of money during his sign-in bonus and then cut down on the annual average salary. That's how you make your money. The bonus doesn't count towards the cap. That's how you're going to manipulate this thing if you are smart. That's probably what they're trying to do, because I think that they have something good there. There's no reason to rush J.J. McCarthy into the situation. Let him sit, let him learn. I know he had a year of sitting on the bench and learning from Sam Darnold or whatnot, but if he can sit another year, I think it benefits him the most. So I see, if they can get it done, a 2 to 3 year contract, some money up front, so then when they release him, the dead cap isn't going to hurt him as much. They need to get something done, but at the same time, Raiders got to be hollering at him. The Giants got to be hollering at him. The Jets got to be hollering at him. He is the creme de la creme when it comes to free agent quarterbacks this year.
Well, and it's a really good point about J.J. McCarthy maybe benefiting from more time sitting, because I think sitting with injury is different than sitting without. You're not getting reps. It's not like he was able to go out there in games in blowouts and be like, all right, I've been talking to Sam and Kevin O'Connell on the sideline. I feel like I'm getting this, and let me get some live game reps late in the fourth quarter when we're winning by 24. He didn't get those moments.
Mental reps are cool.
But
right? But ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Nothing like it.
I think about working out a lot.
Does your body respond?
Doing it is different. Sometimes I stretch. Sometimes, what I do is I get on active wear, and then I go to the grocery store. Then I run errands. I'm
There you
like,
go.
okay, let me put on these workout pants and go to Target.
In steps, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's still activity.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Mavericks All-Star Kyrie Irving suffered a season-ending torn ACL during Dallas's loss to the Kings last night. What's the real headline?
This Mavs season is quickly becoming the second worst thing to ever happen in Dallas.
Dallas sports, man. I saw that hyperextension of that
Matt
knee,
looks horrified.
and they were saying a knee sprain. I go, nah. The way that he was on the ground,
He was crying.
holding it,
And he said, "Thank you, God."
And he took that injury like a G. He was on the ground. He was asking for the trainers. He did his Kobe, made his free throws, and then he got up out of there. This man, 32 years old, but he's been in the league for like 100 years already. He left 1 year out of Duke. He's averaging 36 minutes per game. 36 minutes per game. That's the third most, and he's 32. You know who's number 1? Kevin Durant. He's 36 years old. Number 2, Dame Dollar. He's 34-year-old. Then you got the 40-year-old LeBron James at number 8. I think we need to stop talking about load management when it comes to these older cats now. The only one who's really been doing that is Kawhi Leonard, and he's kind of jacked it up. Him and Joel Embiid. But for the most part, these older heads are going out there and getting it. But for Kyrie, for Dallas Mavs friends, it is a wrap.
I'm going to
Headline rewrites.
swap out our third headline. We'll get back to it a little bit later, but I have some breaking news from Adam Schefter, not Seahawks news, but some big name news. The Jets are going to release wide receiver Davante Adams. I think the idea was maybe they trade him, maybe they send him to wherever Aaron Rodgers is going, maybe they try to recoup some value, but instead they're going to save $29 million in salary cap space by releasing him. He had no guaranteed money remaining on his deal, and he's now a free agent.
The only reason why Davante was there was because Aaron Rodgers wanted him to be there. Every move that Aaron Rodgers wanted to happen and went down, and it did not work out for the Jets. Davante Adams is still a good receiver in this league. Had 1,000 yards last year where you combined his time with the Raiders and the Jets. Missed a few games. He could play. He can be a number 1 on a team that is rebuilding and trying to figure some things out. But I think that he can be like a 1B on a team that is a contender. I like this for Devontae because he deserves to be on a team that is contending. So I'm anxious to see who is going to pick up the bill for Devontae Adams, where he's going to end up. Wherever he does, he's going to succeed, man. He still has great routes. His release is crazy. His hands are on points. He's never been a burner. That's the good thing about Devontae. If he were a guy who came in the league running 4.3, then you would look at him differently. He's been like a 4.5 guy, and he's probably still like a 4.5, 4.6 guy right now. He relies on the craftiness of his route running to get himself open. I love this for Devontae. Get the heck out of New York. Go somewhere sunny. Bring the wife, the kids, and just relax, man. You deserve this. He's still one of the best receivers in the game.
If it's not Derek Carr, who may not even stay with New Orleans, and if it's not Aaron Rodgers, where would you like to see, maybe what kind of quarterback or what specific team would you like to see Devontae be part of? Let's assume we don't know anything about other teams' cap situations. Just think of offenses you like that you'd like to see.
You know,
him
we
in.
messed up.
The Chiefs.
If he went to D.C., and now you got McLaurin, you have Debo, and you have Devontae with that young quarterback. That's where he should go. I'm done. I need to talk about nobody else. If he went to the Commanders, as he should, that would be something to see. He wouldn't have to be the downfield threat. McLaurin got that. He could be the underneath threat. You got Debo, the athlete. You got a running back. If they can fix that defense over there, man, the Commanders. Was that our team last year? We pick a team every year. Was that our team last year?
Was it?
Or was it the Lions again?
No, I can't remember. I know we always have the Baltimore Ravens as like a secret favorite team. Maybe we did pick the Commanders.
I'm gonna go ahead and
because
say
we had
did.
Bobby there.
Yeah.
Some
Dan
former
Quinn.
Seahawks, Dan Quinn.
I think we did.
Yeah.
I'm going to say we did.
I'm gonna claim them in the past.
Yep.
I'm gonna be like, I always said the Commanders would be good. I've always said that.
I've always said that about the Commanders.
Never doubted that offensive line.
Organization has been ran beautifully.
That's what I've always said.
For a long time.
From the
long
top
time.
down. From the top down. Seattle Times Bob Condotta joining us at 11. And we're going to talk about the teams that got it worst at 10:45 before we do. The latest ESPN mock draft has the Seahawks taking this SEC standout at number 18. That's next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
We've been going position group by position group. We move on to safeties, Dave. So you got Julian Love, who's entering the first year of a 3-year extension. He had a great season. You got Kobe Bryant in the final year of his rookie deal. Rayshawn Jenkins is the most likely cap casualty here because he's got a $7.9 million cap hit. And if they release him, they save $5.4 million. He had some plays, but he didn't have $7.9 million cap hit plays.
I agree.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linen, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do. Visit suplinen.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Dan. Dan, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
I had the same insurance company for 30 years and just accepted all the premium increases as inflation or feeling tethered to them because I have earthquake coverage and was uncertain about being able to get that anywhere else. But when I talked to Ken at First Mark, wow, he came back with bigger umbrella policy, better earthquake coverage, which I didn't think was possible. And when he came down with the premium number, it was a no-brainer. We were saving over $2,500 a year. Don't wait, because it's annoying to think of what I could have done with that money over the last 10 years had I done something sooner.
Well, Dan did it. My family did it. You got to do it, and it's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much money they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be the next First Mark Challenge victory that I get to talk to as well. Simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com. Firstmarkinsurance.com.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
If you're looking for a new Mazda, go see our friends at Mazda of Everett. With over 790 new Mazdas in stock at 11409 Highway 99 in Everett, they have something for every budget and credit type. Save up to $3,970 on new Mazda CX-5s. Come meet the team and see why they've been Washington's largest Mazda dealer since 2015. Exceptional service and always their lowest prices. Visit in-store or online at MazdaofEverett.com today. MSRP for stock number 26315 is $30,585.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $4,000 off an energy-efficient brine cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
John here with Happy Hauler. We want to help get your unwanted items to those in need. Furniture and household items you plan on throwing away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill, and giving useful items a second happy home. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We work with over 20 nonprofits all over Western Washington to donate used items. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center. Saturday night, May 10th. Experience the thrill of live MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this exciting mixed martial arts event. The World Fighting Championships, May 10th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The latest ESPN mock draft has the Seahawks taking this SEC standout at number 18. I know some of our listeners are going to be excited because I have seen this name suggested by a couple different people on the Mac and Jacks text line. The latest mock draft is from Jordan Reed, who mocks an offensive lineman to Seattle. He's got the Hawks taking, you can probably guess it now, Alabama guard Tyler Booker at 18 overall. He calls Booker one of the cleanest evaluations of the 2025 class and says he's gotten knocks for a lack of positional versatility, but for Seattle, maybe that's not a problem. Seattle has answers at tackle, so someone who specializes at guard doesn't seem like a bad move. Bump, the pick comes in. It's Tyler Booker. How are you feeling about it?
Look, I got a few names I ain't tripping off of, and Booker is one of them things. And the reason why he is because, as Big Ray would say, he has a PhD at his position. He is a guard. So what are guards asked to do on a consistent basis? You're helping out your tight end when it comes to pass pro. If you got a one technique sitting between you and him, you are responsible for the backer to your side if the running back isn't to your side, right, when it comes to pass pro. They're the more athletic offensive linemen. You're going to use them in the power game, in the trap game, in the counter game. You're going to use them in the screen game. And he can do all of that. 6'5", 325 pounds. This is the type of guard that you are looking for. This gives me Philadelphia Eagles type of vibes when you look at just his sheer size alone. And he blocked for a mobile quarterback. Now, we know Geno's not extremely mobile. He can run. He's more mobile than he leads on, and he's more mobile than people think that he is. But the reason why I bring up the mobile quarterback is because mobile quarterbacks buy time. They're back there. They're going right to left to right, up, down, all that stuff. And it is so hard for an offensive line to block for a quarterback like that sometimes because they don't know. They don't have eyes in the back of their head. They're just kind of feeling what the defense is doing. Exactly. Yep. It's so easy to get holding calls when you have a quarterback that does that. That's what Milroe was able to do over there with Alabama. That is going to be an advantage dealing with the quarterback if he is here in Geno that most of the time operates from the pocket. And now we're talking about the Kubiak scheme, the wide zone. That first step on the wide zone is so crucial. You have to have quick feet. Everything that I saw, everything that I read when it comes to this young man is that he's got the feet. He's got quick feet. He has great hands, and he is athletic. You need something like this. I can imagine him on the right or the left side teaming up with Abe Lucas or Charles Cross and just causing havoc. This is the type of move that will get me excited. The question about this move is, do you make this move if Nick Amaware is there? Do you make this move if Jackson Dart is still there? There are so many ways that you can go with this team because we're going off of the past and them picking not out of necessity but out of the talent. Who is the best player there? How do they view Booker when those if those two or three guys are still there?
I did talk about wanting the Seahawks to have a personality, and while I was primarily thinking about just having more of one on defense and having an identity from your defense, I did like a lot of what I heard from Tyler Booker at his Combine press conference. This isn't Tyler talking X's and O's. This is him just kind of being himself, talking about his personality, but I thought that you guys would want to hear it. This is what he's found teams really value from him, that being leadership, and how he can transition to the NFL with that.
They're really interested in my leadership. That's something that I've heard from every team that I've spoken to. They want to see how my leadership will fit into their program and if I'll be comfortable leading in a room while being the youngest guy. My response to all of them where I have to earn the right to lead, and what I mean by that, I'm not going to walk in day one and start telling a 33-year-old with 2 kids, a wife, and a mortgage what to do. That's just unrealistic. But I will learn from him and learn from everybody else through that program to see how I can contribute as a leader. And once I start playing, once I cement myself in that starting lineup, that's when I'll start to lead and really take over from that standpoint.
He was asked about playing with Will Anderson. Basically, hey, if you were drafted by Houston, how would you feel? And he said he learned a lot from him.
As I mentioned my leadership earlier, I've learned a lot of my leadership skills from Will. Being around a guy like that who loves the game of football, that's something hard to pass up on. Like in the game of football, not everybody loves it. I'm a guy who loves it. I'm a guy who eats, sleeps, and breathes football, and not everybody does it. Some people play for the money. Some people play just because they're good at it. But I love the game of football, and Will is another person who truly loves the game of football just as much as I do.
Everyone at the Combine is going to say the right things and maybe what they think coaches want to hear, but Bump, I'm not going to lie.
It's different with him, though.
It's right?
It sounds different with him.
What do you hear?
His agent, I'm sure his agent was like, okay, so when they ask you this, and then he goes through his answer, he goes, yeah, we're going to be fine in this department. You are going to say the right things, say it with conviction, and say it in a way that's believable. It feels genuine. Like I feel passion behind the words of this young man. You always got to go out and prove it. Right? There are guys who interview for jobs who they're not qualified for, and it sounds great, and they get the job, and they don't know what they're doing. But the great thing about this young man is that there is film to prove that he can do this job. SEC was once considered the best conference in all of football. It is not anymore. It's the Big Ten. But when you're looking at the trenches, it still holds that. They are the best when it comes to offensive linemen, defensive linemen. You go to the SEC, and you're going to find those guys. More defensive linemen, offensive linemen, you can still look at towards the Big Ten and Big 12, just the style of football. But he's gone up against some of the best, guys who are going to get drafted high. So you've seen it, and it sounds good, man. I mean, sometimes – a person that says the right things, the cadence is correct, it's clear, you know exactly what he's saying, you can feel the passion behind him. I'm sold on it, man. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I'm telling you, Booker, Dart, Maware, there was one more, Gray Zabel. Any of those four, I'm good right now.
Yeah, Booker sounds like a guy that has a mentality that I would love injected into this offense. Very serious about football. Mike McDonald, very serious about football. Serious. Mike McDonald, a teacher. Mike McDonald, someone who wants a player who eats, sleeps, breathes, lives football. And you and I both believe that when we hear it. But importantly, now I am reading into something John Schneider said. This was on the this is actually off podium at the Combine, so I don't have audio of it, but I'm going to paraphrase. John Schneider implied that they had drafted a lot of talent. They've drafted a lot of guys on the offensive line, and that maybe the mistake wasn't with not trying, but with the type of guys, and I read it as the mentality of the guys they were drafting. He didn't say that outright, but the way Bump I interpreted it was, we don't just want to draft a big, strong dude. We've drafted big, strong dudes. We've drafted guys that physically fit the profile of what we should want on the offensive line, but maybe they didn't have it. Maybe they didn't have the edge, the work ethic, whatever it is. Something's kind of been missing. The leadership, the willingness to be a leader. It sounds like this guy has that.
Yeah, you want somebody who is confident in themselves, and that's what you hear from this young man. Going into an NFL locker room, I mean, there's going to be 90 bodies in there to start. 90 bodies in there, and everyone in that locker room at some point was the man, whether it was high school, college, or currently in the NFL. And you have to be able to go in there, be yourself, and find your lane. Understand that, look, I might be the 18th pick overall. I might be here to challenge this veteran for his spot. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it respectfully, but I'm also going to do it with intent and intensity that puts some pressure on this guy. There's a game that is played, and some people play dirty. I remember one time I was in a locker room, and me and this one receiver were going at it. And we knew that it was going to be me or him. It was going to be me or him.
That's tough.
Both 5'11", $195. We knew it's
so
me or
awkward.
you. And he decided to play the game, talking crap, try to get into my head. And mine, I played the silent game. You know, I just went out and I worked hard. And then when the final cuts were coming up, I remember I told him, I won't see you tomorrow. And I just walked away. And I'm like, how do you take that? Like, I'm going to be on, you'll be gone. But there's different ways you got to play this game. But that's the game you play when you're an undrafted guy going up against somebody else, right?
Yeah.
When you are the 18th pick overall, you're going to be on the team. It's more just how do you establish yourself respectfully, but in a way that applies pressure to guys who have played in this league for a while.
Such a good line. It's such a good line. I won't see you tomorrow. And you can interpret it how you want.
How you want.
You can interpret it, but we know that both of us aren't coming back here, so it's up to you to read into whether or not I'm really confident.
I just had a great practice, and he got hurt, and I go, oh, yeah, they're cutting him. I'm in there.
Is that what happened?
Yep.
You didn't see him the next day, did you?
Didn't see him.
Seattle Times' Bob Condotta joining us in about 20 minutes. Before we get to that, the Oakland A's are in Sacramento, and the Mavs keep getting bad news. Is there a fan base you just can't help but feel sorry for right now? We're going to talk about who's got it bad and who's got it the worst next.
The John Schneider Show.
With Wyman and Bob.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
You're down at the Combine. What's the biggest priority that you want to know about these players?
Yeah, I would say having our coaches here this year, interviewing the players in person and watching them interact, how they respond to the teaching, and can they teach the coaches. That's probably the most important thing this year. We didn't bring the guys last year because everybody was just installing our systems and getting going. So it's pretty cool having those guys here this year.
View the rest of this interview on demand at seattlesports.com and on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
No more football for me means I am ready for an escape, and since my weekends are free, I'm looking for something fun, relaxing, and with some entertainment built in. I got just the place for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort. They got a hotel. They got a spa. They got multiple restaurants, including the best steakhouse north of Seattle and the brand new The Cantina. Concerts and events, they got you covered. Hold up. You're going to like this one. They got golf, too, so you know when the weather gets better, I am out there. It is all systems go for Silver Reef Casino Resort. Don't tell me it's too far. You'll spend more time this weekend taking Bobby to his games on that highway. Hop on I-5 North, and you are basically there, and you can fill up. They got some of the cheapest gas prices you'll see all year. Join Reef Rewards for free, and you'll get 10% off at the resort. Don't wait. Visit Silver Reef Casino, silverreefcasino.com to book your stay. There's something for everyone at Silver Reef Casino.
Headed to the Sounder game this Saturday? Get down early and check out the Seattle RV Show. Sounders fans will be able to attend the show for just $5 before and after the match when they present their soccer ticket. More info at seattlervshow.com.
In a sea of thousands of competitors, Riverside Roofing continues to stand out. And guess what? They got openings this winter for your roof project. Call 425-949-8252 or go to riversideroofingllc.com, the roofing company you can trust.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Washington State ranks number 5 in the country for auto theft. The most high-risk vehicles are Kia, Hyundai, Ford F-150, F-250, and F-350. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. These tips brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The Mavs have lost Kyrie Irving for the season with a torn ACL. Just a heartbreaking sight yesterday. It tears down his face. He knows what it is. We initially think, is it a sprained knee? Like maybe just something he can bounce back from? Nope, he's gone. And so is Anthony Davis, at least right now.
Brutal. Nope, he's gone.
He's gone. And so is Anthony Davis, though not for the season. But it's just bad news, bad news, bad news for the Mavs. And it had us wondering, is there a fan base you just cannot help but feel sorry for right now? Like, I do a lot of pity party moves when it comes to the Mariners, but I got to say, when I'm thinking of who's got it bad, there are some teams that have got it worse. So bump. And you call right back. Which fan base has got it bad right now?
So I have a special connection to this fan base.
Okay.
During football season, I fly to the Bay Area a lot, at least 10 to 12 times during from August to like December. So I get to meet Giants fans. I get to meet Warriors fans. And then I'll never forget one flight I sat next to an A's fan. And it was this young lady, and she had her A's shirt on, and we're striking up conversation. I go, man, A's, that has to be tough. And she looked at me, and her eyes started getting watery. She goes, I can't believe they're doing this to us. I've been a season ticket holder since this year. Every single year I go to opening day. And you felt just the passion for her. And I felt so bad because I knew it was a messed up situation already. But once you make that human connection with somebody, it was a nice lady. We talked for, what is a 2-hour flight? We talked for 2 hours and just shooting the stuff. But whenever the A's came up, I felt for her. Eyes got watery. So I'm looking at the A's, man. And if you drive through Oakland, where they used to play and where the Warriors used to play, like, it is dead over there right now.
Oakland in
economy
general.
is gone. Everybody got up out of there. They cross the bridge. They go into San Francisco. So I feel for anyone in Oakland in general, but especially those A's fans who did not deserve that and knew it was coming. It's like you sat there and you watched as a slow death.
Yeah, I'll toss in, like, the worst are people that don't have their team anymore. Before I get to, like, the people that currently have their teams, whose teams are just making horrible decisions or have rotten luck, you're right. The worst are the people that don't have their teams. St. Louis Rams fans. I know there are some that didn't follow their fandom to L.A., and they were like, no, you stole this team.
Well, started in
you
LA,
can say
though.
they started in L.A., but, like, come on now. They were in St. Louis for forever. There was a whole generation of
It's
fans
even
that grew
now.
up there.
You won a Super Bowl. LA got a Super Bowl.
They moved to L.A. not because they were like, wow, LA's badly in need of another franchise. It was because they knew there was money there. They knew there was a new stadium there. They could, get more money. It's one of those things of, like, you kind of force the hand of the city that you're leaving from. And Oakland has experienced so much of that.
Man,
like, who's got it
heartbreak.
worst? I'll just say Oakland.
Oakland.
You don't have the Raiders. You're
Raiders
right. Warriors
showed up.
gone.
Boom, we gone. Warriors, we across the bridge. A's, we going to Sacramento,
Gone.
then to Vegas.
Well, and what's heartbreaking is there was periods of times, yes, decades ago, but when all of those teams were almost simultaneously successful, when it was a great sports town. So, yeah, I think that's a good number one. I am going to go back to the Mavs for this next one. I am not saying the Mavs. I mean, you were in the finals. It's not that you can't be a successful franchise. But, like, did a witch put a curse on the Mavs? It is like being struck by lightning twice. You trade away. You watched your best player get traded away. What, Luka's 25? 25 years old, 26 years old. For what feels like peanuts. And I don't mean to disrespect AD, but, like, I think people had invested in their minds their future in Luka, and then he's on the move. AD comes back, he gets hurt. And then the lone star that you have, your Han Solo only hope, Kyrie, tears his ACL.
So bad. I mean, and let me put out a public apology, okay?
Oh.
Because when this Mavs thing went down, I didn't expect the Lakers to be this good this quick. I did not expect it to go down like this. I expected AD to go over there and run the pick and roll with Kyrie, and they would look better. Because at the time, the Lakers are like in the 7th, 8th spot, and the Mavs at the 4th spot, and all they have to do is play like just above 500. I thought the Mavs would be fine, and my Lakers would have to wait a year. I apologize.
I'll tell you what you did.
My reaction was genuine. I genuinely thought that Lakers maybe next year, Mavs this year, and now I'm seeing what's going down over there. And I feel bad for Nico Harrison because I don't think this is what he wanted to do. He was forced to do that. You know where Nico was born?
Where?
Seattle. He's one of us. He's one of us.
I didn't know that.
And we're on his head like that. So yes, my apology to all the people out there that were calling me crazy.
Yeah.
Because turns out you were right.
Yeah.
I thought the Lakers wouldn't be that good.
Someone said Obi-Wan was the only hope. My bad. You know what I think you were doing? So there's like bad coping. Like Mavs fans right now, there's probably a lot of cope happening. I think you were guilt coping. That's what I think you were doing. I think the Lakers made it out so much better in such a lopsided deal that the guilt, because you're a good person, and the guilt was a little too much for you. And you were like, I need to have this trade still keep people in Dallas happy. I'm going to justify it by saying AD fits that system. They can succeed in the short term. This is a better It's guilt. It's okay.
Man, I thought that was going to be cool.
It's guilt coping. You were like, no, surely we didn't do this. I feel horrible about this. The Mavs are still up there for me.
And I think we're talking about that later. I'll save that comment.
No.
No, because season ticket prices.
Oh, yeah.
We'll dive in on that, but they're handling this whole situation horribly.
Let's see. What's another fan base that you just can't help but feel sorry for?
You got to look at the Cleveland Browns because their fans are loyal. I mean, when the dog pound came back, it was like they never left. Like, you got fans from 50, 60 years ago that are just loyal to this team. And every single year, almost every single year, they just break your heart. You have one of the greatest defensive players that we've seen in the last 25, 30 years, and you can do nothing with him. You have a running back who is like a blue-collar type running back in Nick Chubb. Boom, he gets banged up. You bring over Amari Cooper. He has himself a solid year. Now he's gone. You have Baker Mayfield. You should have kept Baker is what you should have done. You have Baker Mayfield. You ship him away. Bring over Deshaun Watson, who I understand at the time was one of the best quarterbacks in the game. And you say, you know what? None of these allegations are going to go through. You're going to settle outside of court. We're going to give you a guaranteed contract. You're going to come in and save the day. He doesn't do that. Gets hurt again during his rehab. And now you're stuck. The best thing that happened to the Cleveland Browns is Jameis Winston. He gave us something to watch, something to talk about, and gave them some type of hope. But we all know, man, the Cleveland Browns, I feel so bad for that organization. Not the organization, the fan base. Those guys are hurting.
I do lament the Mariners' lack of spending, and because of that, I lament – look, the Pirates have won before. They've had good stretches. But, like, there are some teams where you look at them and you go – first time, or like you're kind of like, yeah, you're kind of where we are right now. I have one weird NFL team.
Who that?
The Vikings.
You feel bad for the Vikings,
I don't feel bad per se.
They get close.
The Vikings get close. They get so close, and it never works out.
Would you call this year close?
14 wins, most since 98.
That ain't, I mean, they lost in the first round, right?
14 wins. I would
if
call it
they're in
close.
any other division, they're probably getting home field advantage.
Exactly. Like I wouldn't say they're purely a bad luck team because they've had good seasons. They've been in the playoffs. They are one of 4 teams to have appeared in a conference championship game at least once a decade, and they are the only of those 4 teams to have never won a Super Bowl.
Vikings.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I can feel that. The Vikings, it's weird because in reality, they weren't close, but in reality, they were close. Because you look at the talent and Sam Darnold and O'Connell, and you're thinking they're going to come out and do their thing, and the Rams just smack them in their house. It was devastating. But yeah, I can get with the Minnesota Vikings. I'll throw one more out there. The Chicago Bears. Their fan base.
Yeah.
They haven't even seen a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards. Like everybody and their mama has thrown for 4,000 yards. I'll throw 4,000 right now. You let me throw it 1,000 times in this league. I'm just playing. But they haven't been able to see that. But I think that they are optimistic with what's going on over there right now.
I love the idea of Bum just 4 yards of completion. Just give me 1,000 pass attempts this season. Let's do this. All right. The Seahawks did not have a very good 2024 free agency. So what lesson can they learn and what approach should they take this year? That's next.
4th down territory. Going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
What part of football has changed, and do you like it?
2-point conversions. Like, we are chasing points. The game has changed. 2-point conversions and 4th downs. So we're seeing coaches dive into the data like a lot of people do with baseball. And I like it, and it is weird at the same time because I'm not used to seeing these 4th down conversions or attempts and these 2-point conversions.
4th down territory. Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Our friends at Mazda of Everett always offer you their lowest price. Shop over 800 new Mazdas online at MazdaofEverett.com. Click on Get the Mazda of Everett price for their best deal. Shop MazdaofEverett.com or stop in and meet our friends at Mazda of Everett located in Everett at 11409 Highway 99. If you're shopping for a new car, make sure our friends at Mazda of Everett are on your list.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Sometimes even heroes need rescuing.
I'm a retired firefighter, 27 years.
Kurt had severe pain in his knees and his shoulder, which was keeping him from enjoying his well-deserved retirement.
Loved to ski, loved to fish, and couldn't even walk 18 holes.
That's why Kurt decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
He was just awesome. He goes, yeah, give me a shot. And he took care of me. He stemmed my knee and my shoulder.
And how are you feeling now?
I was pain-free in 12 weeks. I play golf now pain-free, and it's awesome.
So you'd recommend this treatment to others in your situation?
Absolutely. Yeah, Dr. Wagner's, he's had a couple people call me, and I recommended that they do it.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
When it comes to great deals on tax prep, Jackson Hewitt isn't holding back, and neither is this commercial. Their offer is so big, it has to be said with Reverb. Expert tax prep for $149 or less. It's a deal so spectacular, it needs a symphony, some explosions, and a clock ticking, because this offer, $149 or less, ends soon. One expert tax prep for $149 or less. Try Jackson Hewitt today and save. Whew. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
An interesting change in Houston. The Astros are planning to play Jose Altuve mostly in left field this season. Altuve has played all but 2 of his more than 1,700 major league games at second base. The move was initially made when the team was hoping to keep third baseman Alex Bregman, a move that would have shifted Isaac Paredes to second. But even without Bregman, it would appear the Astros are sticking to the plan.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. from the Quantum Fiber Studio
This is Bump and Stacy.
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Some breaking Seattle Seahawks news. We have a couple veterans being released this morning. While it hasn't been released as part of a press statement yet, the Seahawks have a couple photos of players with thank you notes. The first, Dre Jones. Thank you, Dre Jones. I'm taking that as the Seahawks releasing Dre Jones. A second, thank you, George Fant. Thank you, Rayshawn Jenkins. And then those are coming in right now. So we'll see if there's another. Thank you, Robertson-Harris. So as of right now, it would appear that the Seahawks have released George Fant, Robertson-Harris, Rayshawn Jenkins, and Dre Jones. Bump, I can't say these are especially shocking.
Mm-hmm.
We all expected some veteran cuts, particularly Dre. But your first reaction to this news before I send you a couple questions.
Yeah, we knew moves were going to be made, and these are names that we talked about. Dre Jones. You know what? We didn't talk about George Fant, but we're not surprised that the move was being made. George Fant was brought here in case of emergency. A guy who can play tackle, who can play guard. He can probably play center if he wanted to. He's reported eligible in his past tenure here as a eligible receiver or a lineman down the field, whatever you want to call it. So he was versatile. He was a guy that you can plug in if you really needed him, but not a guy that you felt like they were going to depend on. Rayshawn Jenkins, we felt like this was going to happen, and the Hawks gave him permission to go seek out a trade. You and I felt like there's probably no one who's going to trade for them. They're going to wait for the Hawks to release him and then pick him up. Still a good football player, can get the job done. Dre Jones, this was a guy who was probably the most disappointing when it comes to the Seahawks signing because you signed him. This is the biggest free agent acquisition that they've had under John Schneider. And while he was over there with the Denver Broncos, he had years of 6.5 sacks, 5.5, 6.5. And you come here in Seattle and he doesn't have the production that you thought he would have. 4.5 sacks in 2023, 4 sacks in 2024. And when it comes to TFLs, he did have highs in TFLs, or excuse me, quarterback hits, 12-13. TFLs, he had 5 and 7. He had 9 and 7 over there in Denver. And Dre was a versatile type of player, can play on the edge, can also play inside. But I think with the development of these edge rushers and Derek Hall, we'll see if Uchenna Nwosu get his deal done, Boye Mafe, and then the emergence of Byron Murphy. We're still waiting to see if Cam Young's going to be a guy they can depend on out of Mississippi State a couple years ago. It just felt like you could probably get more for less at that position. So big ups to all those guys. I think they're all going to get picked up somewhere. Probably George Fant would be the toughest one to get a job just because he's getting a little long in the tooth and he's bounced around a little bit. But these guys are going to get opportunities to play elsewhere.
If you're just now joining us, the Seahawks have released George Fant, Rayshawn Jenkins, Robertson-Harris, and Dre Jones. According to Bob Condotta of the Seattle Times, those moves save just over $26 million against the cap. The Seahawks were in a bit of a tough cap situation. I'm going to focus on the Dre Jones one, which is the most interesting release, even though it was one we were expecting. You mentioned Dre Jones being the most expensive free agent signing ever for the Seahawks, ever under John Schneider. Do you think that experiment failing sounds dramatic, but that experiment failing in any way discourages them from being aggressive again in free agency?
No, I don't think so, because I think when you grab Dre Jones, he was coming off of a good season. You can't predict what a person is going to do. You can look at their past, their resume, their film, and imagine them being inserted into your offense and your defense and hoping that your projections are going to be correct. Nothing is guaranteed. And I think with Dre Jones, maybe if he were in a different system, he might flourish a little bit. But it failed, but it wasn't like you got nothing out of Dre Jones. I mean, he still played a whole bunch of snaps, played every game in 2 years here with the Seahawks. He still had, 49 combined tackles 1 year, 28 1 year. He still had 5 TFLs and 7. He produced 8.5 sacks in 2 years. I mean, it wasn't a bad situation. You're just looking at the cap hit and the number that he's getting paid, and you expect him to be around 6.5, 7 sacks and be a guy that took this defense or helped take this defense to the next level. You and I were talking off air. We can only really remember one game where we said to ourselves, that's the Dre Jones that these guys thought they were getting. And again, no knock to Dre Jones. Sometimes it's just not the right situation. I don't know what his body was going through. There's a bunch of data and information that the Seahawks have that we just don't have. But when you just look at it from the surface, he just wasn't put enough out there for the number. What was he getting, like $17 million a year or something like that? You getting $17 million? We need about 6.5, 7 sacks and about 12 to 13 TFLs.
I'm always like feeling bad for guys in this league losing their job. For every single dude, it's your dream. You work every single day at it, and I'm sure it hurts to be released. That being said, the way I feel about the released players on this list is, man, I'm kind of glad that Seattle wasn't in a position, because they were tied against the cap. They were like $7 million over, where you're releasing players that you can't see a future without. For instance, the Saints are in a place where it's like you might have to take a step back at a few position groups to be cap compliant. The Seahawks needed to make some roster moves, but I would be more bothered if they couldn't extend Charles Cross or pick up a fifth-year option, do whatever it is, couldn't afford to keep someone they needed on the roster because of cap things.
Yeah.
These are people where I'm like, man, best of luck to these guys, but I like the positions that they're vacating. I still like that defensive front seven.
Yep.
I still like that safety group.
And then when you look at Robertson-Harris, he was brought over just to help out a spot that they felt like they needed more depth at. Roy Robertson wasn't brought here to save the day. He was a guy that was going to hit a stopgap. All right, let's stop the bleeding for a little bit and help us try to figure some things out. So this is what happens when a head coach who is a defensive guy understands exactly what he wants. Out of what the four guys being released right now, we got a safety, we got a D-line, we got a D-lineman, and then you have an offensive guy on that offensive line. Mm-hmm. It all makes sense. You know you need to get deeper and younger at the offensive line position. You clear up a little bit of space. I'm not sure what George Fant's cap hit was going to be. You understand that Kobe Bryant is your safety at this point. Rayshawn Jenkins, we no longer need a veteran. Maybe go get a young guy to kind of back up a Kobe Bryant or Julian Love. Dre'Mont Jones on that defensive line, you probably don't fit the scheme in the type of player that we need at that position. Then Roy Robertson was just brought here. I guarantee Roy didn't buy a house. He didn't invest deeply into the community. He's a veteran. He knew, like, all right, I'm probably here for a year and then I'll be somewhere else. These moves just signify exactly what needs to happen with the Hawks. Get better on the offensive line and get cheaper on that defensive line. Hopefully draft somebody or bring somebody in.
Well, I was going to say, does it make the idea of drafting a safety or drafting a defensive lineman a little more appealing to you than it was prior to these cuts? Because, yeah, Leonard Williams you're looking at as your chief starter, Byron Murphy, but like there's always a world where those guys get hurt. You do want depth. And releasing these veterans while they were no longer really contributing starters still changes depth. Are you looking at safety and defensive linemen in a different way?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to address those positions. I think in most drafts, if you have 7 picks, you're probably going to touch most positions other than a quarterback or a spot where you have 2 receivers that are great at that spot. I'm looking at the depth chart right now. So without Roy Robertson-Harris and without and Dre Jones was a tweener, right? He was an edge rusher guy, but he was an inside as well. All you have left now to back up Jay Reed, Hankins, I think, is a guy who needs to have his situation figured out, too. We'll see what they do at that spot. And Leonard, you got Mike Morris, a guy who understands what Mike McDonald wants, played for him at Michigan. And you have Byron Murphy. You have Brandon Peely, who's a backup as well. And you have Quentin Bohannon. Those 2 guys are going to be battling during training camp to figure out if they're going to make this team or not. But, yeah, this tells you that they're going to address the position again. And I like that because I think if there's any position where you can find diamonds in the rough late at a lot of positions, right? But just sheer athleticism, just a guy that people are sleeping on. I look at the D-line, and I get excited because I trust Mike McDonald's evaluation. How do you not trust what he's done with his defense so far? Mm-hmm. Like, it started off rough. He made some moves. You play some young guys. You tweak it here or there, and your defense looks like a top 15 defense at the end of the year. If he feels like these guys aren't necessary, I trust him 100%, and I know that he's going to address it in the draft or free agency.
We had this news break, like, as the intro music to our show was playing, so I didn't actually introduce the topic at hand at all. We jumped right into the breaking news. Coincidentally, though, the topic at hand that we were planning to talk about is still applicable to this breaking news. The topic was, hey, what can the Seahawks learn from a really bad 2024 free agency cycle? I know Dre Jones was the year prior, but the Seahawks have not really knocked it out of the park with free agency, certainly last free agency, and then I would say mostly with the free agency before. Is there a lesson you kind of hope they take, like from the failed Dre Jones experience, from Rayshawn Jenkins being supplemented by a player you already had on your roster? Like, what's something where you think, like, man, I'd love to see them do this instead?
Well, Dre Jones was part of the whole Russell deal too, right? They just had to.
No.
He wasn't.
No, he's a free agent.
Oh, okay.
He's just from Denver. Previously played with Denver.
It feels like it's connected, right?
Shelby Harris was.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Big up Shelby, man. He was a heck of a personality.
Yeah.
What you learn so I look at Mike McDonald and the moves that he had to make last year. It was rushed. This whole process was rushed. He didn't go to the Senior Bowl. He just had his scouts out there. He's piecing together a staff, and he's just trying to grab all the pieces that he can. It's kind of like when you enter a fantasy football draft and you were working, so it was on auto draft, and you pick it up in the 4th round. You're like, all right, what do I need?
Actually, a perfect analogy.
What do I need? Like,
yeah.
What do I need? Okay, I'm gonna grab him, and I'm gonna grab him.
Why do I have 3 kickers?
And you don't know the vibe of the draft. You don't know like the sequencing of it, and everything just feels rushed. That's what last year felt like. So you saw Jenkins, who was a veteran safety with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Why not bring him in? He knows the game, right? You had Baker. You had Dotson, veteran linebackers. Why not? Let's bring them in. There's less teaching. So I think that the auto draft is off now. Mike McDonald has a full offseason to attack this thing. I got a homie who lives in Texas, and I think he won our fantasy football league this year. And he is the most prepared dude every single year when it comes to this draft. He's got notes. He's texting the thread. Like, he lives for this. And me, I'm kind of the guy who's like, all right, I'm just going to show up and do my thing. Right? Mike McDonald was me last year. I'm just going to show up and do what I can. And half of the time, I'm on auto draft because I'm working here and I'm doing that. But now he gets to be my homie Richie from Texas. Richie has notes. He's ready to go. That's what I expect. So last year, and we've said this on this show, it's like, let's just see what happens. Just give him a year or 2 or 3 to figure this thing out. So now I'm excited because he's making moves, and I want to see what corresponds with this.
I think it's really interesting that so many of the moves that have been made for this team, by the way, dating back to mid-season at the trade deadline, you've pointed this out, has been on defense. It's like you can already see Mike McDonald, his fingerprints kind of being like, okay, let me start fine-tuning this now. So maybe I'm reading into it, but with every roster move made defensively, I just assume Mike McDonald is tweaking his defense. Why is he getting rid of this guy? Who's he? Who might he be looking for now?
They got to be looking at the draft and saying this is a good class at that defensive line. Got to be. I mean, you don't make moves like that unless you feel that you're going to be able to replace these guys. And it's not like, other than Dre Jones, Roy Robertson-Harris wasn't getting paid a lot. George Fant wasn't getting paid a lot. Jenkins, I believe you saved $2.5 million, I believe, by letting him go. So this just tells me that they like what's out there.
What do you hope they address in free agency, by the way? I've gotten a couple questions from listeners so far about, hey, they saved $26 million against the cap. Is it to restructure Lockett? Is it to extend someone else? Is it to spend in free agency? What do you want to see them do?
I still think Lockett's not going to be here, unfortunately. So you save 26, you're about to save another, 15 to 20 or something like that when it comes to Lockett. Man, that takes some pressure off. Some pressure off. That's like back in the day, Stacy, you're 5'2". I can imagine you had a big old JanSport backpack walking home.
I did.
And when you
Why are
take
you calling
that
me
thing
out?
off, you take that thing off like, oh man, all the books, because you didn't put your books in a locker. You seem like you just hauled your books everywhere you went.
Yes, it's why I have horrible posture, a little bit of scoliosis from being so smart.
Being so smart and taking those books around. That's what I imagine this feels like now that the pressure has been taken off the cap. Now you're able to be creative and start moving pieces around. I'm sure they have some type of app or program that they use to kind of figure out what their cap situation is. This is what this does. It gives you financial flexibility. And if you've ever been in a position where you have financial flexibility, it's a heck of a feeling.
You know what makes me mad about being short? Sometimes when you're really short, at one point you were the tallest kid in your class, but you just stopped growing.
Yep.
That was never me. You know what I mean? It's not like I was the tallest 5th grade girl and then just never got taller. I was just the runt the whole time.
Man.
And I never caught up.
I was the tallest until like 9th grade.
So that's what I'm saying. Like
and then it was a wrap.
Yeah, most kids at some point, like even if you stop growing and everyone surpasses you, it's like, oh yeah, I'm really short now, but I just, I grew up and then just stopped. Nope. Nope. I was probably 3 feet tall.
You are
as
so
a 10-year-old.
cute, though. You're so cute.
Yeah, but you never get it, you never get to see what it's like up there. What's it like up there? I don't know. There's things on top of my fridge I can't see, and I'll never see.
You have step stools all through your spot?
In my closet, I do, because I have the second rack. So there's the bottom rack and then the second rack, and I can't reach it with my hands. So when you go to the stores and you're like, hey, can you grab me this? And they bring out that pole that has the hook on it. I have one
You have
of
a
those.
pole?
Yes. With a hook on it. And you take it and you unhook or you hook it's like I'm at a Forever 21. Let me get that down for you. You guys don't know what this life is like.
Man.
Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what's your NBA news for today?
I switched it up. I
We're
know
going
this is
4
4
rounds.
down territory. I'm going 4 rounds. You know why?
Okay.
Because it's March and there's absolutely nothing to talk about at some situations. So we're talking NBA. All you NBA lovers out there, I know you do. Here's my problem with the NBA right now. It's not a problem. The best players in the NBA are not from this country. They're just not. The best player in the game right now, in my opinion, is SGA. He's probably going to win the MVP award. The young man out of Canada, you listen to him speak, articulate. I love that dude. Has crazy game. 3 years in a row, he's been averaging over 30 points. In 2022 to 3, 31 points. 23 to 4, 30 points. 24 to 5, 32 points this year, and still maintaining 50 or more percent better, or 50% or better from field goal, which is crazy at the perimeter position. So now let's talk about what's going on with basketball in the U.S. All right, the Joker has won the MVP award 3 times. Embiid has won it. Giannis has won it a couple times. The last American to win the MVP award in NBA, who is it?
I don't know.
Curtis.
This is a Curtis question.
Last American to win NBA MVP.
Like James Harden?
James Harden.
Wow.
Back in 2018-19.
Wow.
Before that, there were 10 straight Americans in a row before you get to Dirk in 06 and 07. Then Steve Nash from Canada done his thing. So here's the comparison. NBA is the best basketball league in the world, right? The best soccer league in the world. It's arguable, but it's probably the English Premier League. There are 4 American players in that whole league. 4 American players. So the other countries are infiltrating our game, but we're not infiltrating their game, all right? We need some payback. Let's get some Americans in that EPL, but it all starts with the way that we groom our players, man. Our system is horrible here in the U.S. when it comes to soccer. It's all about money. It's not about development. They let their guys play for free. Meanwhile, I'm flying to Texas with little Michael and Jada paying tens of thousands of dollars for a tournament that we're probably not going to win.
Not with that attitude. Second down, a.k.a. second round. Mariners are in spring training. What stood out to you, but you really don't care?
Don't care. But we got to talk about it. All right, this is 4 rounds today, not 4 downs. 4 rounds. You know what? Calvin Yard the other day. Calvin Yard. Nice to see it. He's got 3 hits at 17 at-bats. I mean, absolutely nothing. He's batting like 197 right now. Luis Castillo. He gave up 2 bombs in 4 innings. So what? So what? He's trying things, right? He's working on that slider. Maybe he's working on that changeup that he showed the grip to Munoz. Who knows what's going on with Castillo, but at least he's out there. Julio Rodriguez, he's driven in 3 runs, and he's only struck out twice in 13 at-bats. I kind of care about that, though. I kind of care
because
about that.
I want to care about
I want to care. I don't want to see Fodifo up there whiffing like he did a whole bunch of times with him and his comrades last year. So, Julio, you keep up the good work. And JP has walked twice so far, showing that good eye that we're used to seeing. Remember when JP used to just get on base every single time? You're not going to fool JP. So I'm looking at this. I don't care, but I do care at the same time. I care about JP having a good eye. I care about Julio not striking out. And it's nice to see Cal go yard. And I'm just going to attribute our dude Castillo giving up 2 bombs in 4 innings. Him just trying some stuff. I'm out there trying things. It's like when you go to the golf course. My son had a trial for his golf team yesterday. He won his match. Let's go, Pops. And I'm just out there on the golf course. You know, I play hole 17, then I play number 11. I'm just trying some things. It don't matter what I score. I'm trying some things. That's how I see Luis Castillo in this moment.
Third round. Bump. What's cracking with the Kraken?
I'm not going to lie, that third round threw me off for a second. What's cracking with the Kraken? We got to talk a little bit of hockey. Let's do the hockey, okay? They won 3 of their last 5 games, all right? Their last game against the Canucks, if your name started with a B, you scored a goal. Simple as that, all right? Got Beniers scored a goal, Borowkowski scored a goal, and then Bjorkstrand scored a goal as well. They beat them 6-3. But the jacked up part about the Kraken is when you look at their team stats, they are nowhere near the top, like 15 when it comes to all the major categories. When it comes to goaltending, last year that was something that you can count on. Goaltending, power play, they were better last year. This year they're not doing great with that. So now the Kraken, they doing what the Kraken do, man. And I think it's about time we have something to cheer about when it comes to the Kraken. But it ain't gonna be this year because they are second to last in their division, right over the San Jose Sharks. For some reason, I thought that team disappeared. San Jose Sharks. I don't know why. For some reason,
Still here.
For some reason, I thought they didn't
Still
exist
swimming.
anymore.
We should have included them in the teams who got it bad with bumping. Like,
Yeah.
I literally forgot about them.
I thought they were gone. But, yeah, I used to have a San Jose Sharks sweater growing up. But, yeah, man, that's what's cracking with your Kraken. I mean, they play the Wild today at 7 p.m. They are at home, so we'll see what happens there. But nothing special going on with them. But if your last name started with a B against the Canucks, you scored a goal.
4th round. We had some breaking news earlier in the show about some big Seahawks roster moves. What do some of these roster moves mean?
It means that they are in full attack mode. They are activated. If you are a Top Gun fan, I remember growing up watching Top Gun, when they're ready to engage, there's this little cover that you flip over the missile button that you're going to hit, because you got to make sure you don't accidentally hit the button, So you flip that thing open and you're engaged. That's the way I see the Seahawks right now. It is Maverick, it is Goose, and they are engaged right now, and they're trying to find their targets all across the league. They're looking at these young men who just competed in the NFL Combine. They're looking at free agency, and they're saying, how do we make this defense better? How do we make this offensive line better? I believe Geno's going to get extended. I believe DK is going to get extended or not touched at all. It'd be crazy to me if they were to let that young man take his talents elsewhere. You need DK in this offense. So what does it mean to me? These guys are locked and loaded and ready to go, and I'm excited. We needed some news like this today.
Yeah.
We needed some news like this. Unfortunately, I still think Tyler Lockett is not going to be on this team.
Okay, so let's say that the next piece of news that we get is news of more releases before we get, like, additions, right? Free agency doesn't even start for another 10 days or so. What do you think is the next addition move? And that includes extensions.
Next is Geno. It's Geno. They talked on Friday, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Didn't they talk Friday, Saturday?
Yeah.
Geno
Where's the
sent
news?
us with the thank you, Lord, praying emojis. I'm just
Maybe
waiting
he's
for
a
it to
man of
drop.
God.
You know what it's like? It's like waiting for the N1 mixtapes to drop back in the day. Remember those, Curtis? N1 mixtape?
Absolutely.
Waiting for them things to drop. Going to Foot Locker.
Professor.
Just buying some socks so I can get the VHS. That's what it feels like, waiting for N1 mixtapes to drop.
So not with you guys on this. Y'all remember now 24? The now CDs.
24. I can't believe you bought those. You didn't have a homie who can burn you CDs?
I did have burn CDs, but I also had now CDs. And the now CDs were organized to where it was like pop, like rap hip hop, and then in the second half it would be like rock.
Okay. I've never owned a Now CD.
Never? Oh,
Never.
I had.
They're still churning them
No,
out.
they're
Is it
not.
now 512?
No, they don't have any CDs that exist
Oh, you
anywhere.
can
There's nowhere.
download them off Spotify.
Maybe like a
Apple
Spotify
Music.
playlist of like now.
I'll research what number they're up to.
Do they sell CDs anywhere?
They better not. That's a waste of money.
I mean, somewhere is like a 20-year-old that's like vintage. The way that I would look at an album and go like, I wonder if it sounds different when you play it. That's how they're feeling about a CD. Coming up next, Saquon Barkley makes history again, and the Mavs are in hot water. Don't go anywhere.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
We are now speaking with the architect of your Seattle Seahawks.
How we doing, football fans? With Seahawks President of Football Operations and General Manager John Schneider.
My job is to do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks organization. I have to keep wrapping my mind around that and trying to communicate effectively.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's the standard the Seahawks defense needs to be held to under Mike McDonald?
The John Schneider Show.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Tingling and numbness or burning pain in the feet or hands are warning signs of peripheral neuropathy. For years, Sound Pain Solutions has helped thousands using our innovative narcotic-free approach. Now we're excited to introduce our most powerful treatment yet. I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We've discovered a new bioelectrical treatment that produces remarkable results. Studies show 85% of neuropathy sufferers report a 50% reduction in pain. Our new therapy can reduce pain and regenerate damaged nerves. It's performed by medical providers and naturopathic physicians. It's a breakthrough treatment that has changed the lives of thousands who suffer from nerve pain. At Sound Pain Solutions, all our therapies are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, and narcotic-free. Learn if you qualify for our new neuropathy treatment. Schedule a free consultation by visiting soundpainsolutions.com. soundpainsolutions.com.
The smart way to improve home comfort is a new heat pump. New heat pumps from Home Comfort Alliance provide efficient heating and cooling in one unit. Upgrade today and enjoy 18 months, same as cash financing, and up to 15% off through March. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Take your game day experience to the next level with a Mariner Suite. Suites are perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, client meetings, and that company outing you've been trying to plan for months. Enjoy first-class catering, VIP parking, custom setups for 14 to 400 people, and more, all with the help of a dedicated Mariners rep. Suites start at $125 per person, and season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve now at mariners.com/suites.
Munoz strikes out the side, and the ball game is over.
Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our durable, weather-resistant siding keeps your home warm and protected all season long. And don't forget, we also offer roofing, windows, decking, and gutters. Maximize your savings. Combine 2 or more projects like roofing and siding and unlock additional discounts. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $4,000 off an energy-efficient Bryant cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
Hey, Brock Ewart here. And as a former college and professional player and quarterback in particular, the years of wear and tear and some of those hits left my knee and some of my body in some constant pain. On and off the field, the weight room, all those heavy squats and all of it. In fact, my knee was really bothering me last year. That's why I decided to try stem cell injection therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson at Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine over there in Kirkland. And really, it was an awesome decision. With Dr. Dan, the procedure itself was so quick and easy. In and out, same day. Next day, I'm out watching football practice, a baseball game, and the staff was absolutely A+. And my knee, well, it's a whole lot better now, and I'm back to squatting and enjoying a much better quality of life. Call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, with Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. Over 30 years of experience. No one, and I mean no one, has more experience in pain medicine techniques. You can reach him at 425-823-4000. That's 425-823-4000 or danielnelsonmd.com.
We know finding a company to trust with your home is a big decision, and one we look forward to earning with incredible service, top quality products, and lifetime warranties. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are feature-rich with our sound package that reduces noise by 50%, clean glass technology, and added protection with our exclusive First Guard 3-layer security glass. Learn more about all of these features at lakewashingtonwindows.com. Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline Rayshawn, Bump, and Stacy reading you the top stories you're going to see on your own timeline. So let's talk about the news happening in the world of sports. That means mostly going outside of Seattle. We're starting in Dallas right now. You already know the Dallas Mavericks have had some no good, very bad couple of weeks. First, they trade Luka Doncic in a move that doesn't quite make sense. They get back AD as part of that trade, but then he gets hurt and he's gone. The latest news, Kyrie Irving tore his ACL in last night's loss. And now, the Dallas Mavericks find themselves in hot water with the news that they are raising season ticket prices by an average of almost 10% and 8.6% next season. They are citing, quote, ongoing investments in the team and fan engagement.
Really? So what, bigger Jumbotron?
I have no idea.
Glizzies from the sky? Are you going to jock what the Mariners are doing? Here's the deal, man. Kyrie ain't going to be ready for the start of the season next year. Right? Anthony Davis is going to have to carry this team and be your most marketable player, which he is marketable, right? He's one of the best big men in the game right now. But the wind has been taken out of the sails over there. They're already taken out, right? When you send Luka to L.A., and now you got your fans just rowing this big boat, rowing the boat, like, come on, stay with us. And now Kyrie is gone. They're giving up. And at the same time, you're going to increase these prices for season ticket holders. This whole sequence is wrong. This is like watching a football team fumble the snap, try to throw, the QB fumbles, you jump on the football, squirts out of the defense, picks it up and scores. This is what this feels like here in Dallas. I feel bad for the fan base over there. Yeah, I got nothing to cheer for at this point.
I would not be surprised. I have never been a season ticket holder for any team, but I would not be surprised if every single year for the vast majority of teams, there is a negligible to noticeable but not offensive hike in prices. Would not be surprised at all. Inflation, year over year, things become more expensive. Teams like to grow and add. They get fan feedback about what people want, and then those changes cost money, etc. However, you have to be aware of context. The A's, for instance, are not a team that should ever hike up prices. Not right now. It's offensive. It's spitting in the face of your fans. And right now, the Mavs are kind of that team. You are giving people no reason to attend your games. You're kicking out, escorting out fans who protest your GM. And now you're charging season ticket holders.
A GM don't even show up to the games at home.
Exactly. You're charging existing fans, people that already remain dedicated to your team, more money to go.
Y'all need to make tickets cheap. Like when I was in middle school going to Clippers games now. It used to be like $50 to get 5 rows up back in the day at the Staples Center back in 2001 through 4. This is crazy. Tone deaf as heck. Switch this up automatically. And if I am Dallas Mavericks fans, season ticket holders, we're protesting. We're not going to buy these tickets. We're good.
Next up, you're probably seeing Saquon Barkley's face all over your timeline, and here's why. The Eagles have signed Saquon Barkley to a 2-year extension, which makes him the NFL's first $20+ million running back from Adam Schefter. It's a 2-year, $41.2 contract that makes him the highest paid running back in NFL history. It also gives him the ability to earn an additional $15 million on top of that in incentives and escalators, and $36 million fully guaranteed at signing. Is this a change in the trend of not paying running backs, or is Saquon a lone exception to the rule?
You just saw the best season we've ever seen. Complete season. If we're talking about the playoffs as well. The best season we've ever seen from a running back. He comes over from the Giants. He delivers. He could have broken the single season record if y'all let him play against the Giants. I understand why you didn't. 13 touchdowns in the regular season, 5 in the postseason, 6 or 7 rushes over 60 to 70 yards. He was the best player in the NFL last year, but it's just going to be him. You will never see this. I don't say you never see this again, but when you have a guy who's done something that no one has ever done at his position, a position that is undervalued and underpaid, you have to do this. This is more of a testament to the integrity that the Philadelphia Eagles organization just operates. We already know that they've done a great job building an defensive line, a great job building an offensive line, a great job bringing guys over. You just got rid of Slay. You're not afraid to make moves, and now you're not afraid to make Saquon Barkley the highest paid running back in NFL history, which he should be. He just did something we've never seen before. $20 million a year, well-deserved. Tip my cap to the Philadelphia Eagles organization.
Can I ask you a question that I think is kind of interesting? And it comes with my own answer to it, but I want to know what you think. When we saw offenses start to expand, like more 11 personnel, passing more than ever before. Remember, we looked back at those stats from 2017, and we were like, whoa, look at like the running back with the most attempts per game in 2017 versus 2024. It was, you are seeing more run-focused offenses, or at least more balanced offenses. So back in 15, 16, 17, 18, when we started seeing wide receivers just completely matter in a different way, we saw wide receiver pay follow that. I think we're seeing a resurgence of running backs. I don't know that pay is going to follow. What do you think?
No, I don't think it is. I think it's going to go up naturally because of the salary cap.
Sure.
But we're not going to see the jump, that we've seen with receivers or with quarterbacks. Because the reality of it is, a guy like Saquon Barkley, if he were just the average running back in the league, right, not a top 2 or top 3 guy, he blows his ACL out, has ankle injuries, people are giving up on him, and it's a wrap. The shelf life for a running back is typically about 4 years if you're a good one, 4 to 5. And then you have these unicorns like Derrick Henry and, again, Saquon Barkley, who just kind of are the exception to the rule. But for the most part, you look at the shelf life of a running back, it just don't happen like that. DeMarco Murray jacked this up. David Johnson jacked this up. They paid those dudes. In the next year, they get hurt or you do absolutely nothing. It's just the nature of the position. When you touch the ball over 300 times in a football season, that's 300 opportunities to get into a car accident. And it's just dangerous. So, no, I don't think that we're going to see the uptick in pay like that. I think if you have a guy like a Derrick Henry or a Saquon Barkley, yes. But even D. Henry ain't going to get paid like that. Then you gamble. But it's going to take something like this, something we've never seen before out of a running back, for people to really appreciate.
I just find it so interesting that like one half of what running backs were saying has been proven to be true. Like what so many running backs or like old school proponents of running back usage would say is like, stop saying running backs don't matter. Like the league always changes. Defenses are going to change the way they play, and then offenses are going to have to respond, and they're probably going to have to run the ball or do whatever. And that ended up being true. But then running backs saying, and you'll have to pay us more, didn't end up becoming true.
No, running backs control the game.
Yeah.
Offensive line and running backs control the tempo of the game, but it's just the injuries that they get.
Next up, the Ringer's Todd McShay says more than a few teams came away unimpressed with Colorado's Shedeur Sanders. This after the individual interview portions of the Combine.
A couple of the quotes that I put in there. One said that it wasn't a professional approach. One person that I talked to said the best way I can describe it is it just wasn't it wasn't a professional approach. Shedeur Sanders did not take a professional approach to this interview. The other person I talked to said he wasn't taking it seriously at all. I didn't get the sense that he was taking it seriously. So when you hear it wasn't a professional approach and you hear he wasn't taking it all that seriously, that's not the interview that you're looking. It's not the response you're looking for from a potential suitor, from somewhere you plan to go play.
What do you think, reading between the lines, is happening with Shedeur?
Now, I listened to Shedeur on the sidelines during the Combine, and he seemed very relaxed. He didn't seem like this was an interview for sure. I mentioned last week that Chris Carter had a driver that drove Shedeur around, and that his approach to just being on time and all that stuff was professional. But when I see Shedeur on TV, I have nothing wrong with a backwards cap. Do your thing. Cap, even if it's backwards, make it clean. It was a sloppy backwards cap. I mean, 2 chains on. Everyone wore Jackson Dart wore chains, so I ain't hating on that either.
No.
But the presentation seems sloppy. When you are the quarterback, the face of an organization, you have to be somewhat buttoned up. Lamar Jackson is exactly who he is. He hasn't changed for nobody. And he talks differently, which has people thinking that he's not intelligent. He's just a black man from the South. It's going to sound different from you. But there's a professionalism that you see from Lamar Jackson, no matter what he sounds like, no matter what he's wearing. For the first time during the Combine, I looked at Shedeur and I'm like, man, it don't feel professional. You look at Cam Moore, his direct competition. Cam Moore, look at him in the eye, was articulate about what he's saying. Got to the point. Shedeur seemed like this was a given. That was the first time I got that from him. And if they're saying this in the interviews, there's 2 things that could be happening. It could be true, right? But it could also be what happens during the NFL Combine and before the draft. You start trying to knock people down so you can draft them later.
Theory. Shedeur Sanders, unlike not every, but most other players in this class, grew up with an incredibly famous parent and has probably been around a lot of very famous people, has had a lot of spotlight on him.
Yep.
I wonder if part of it is there's not an intimidation factor for him. He's like, I know I'm going to get drafted. I know I'm going to be great. I know I'm going to make money. Like, I think that there's like, I think that coaches and GMs want to feel that players are being really respectful and maybe are a little bit intimidated, but are standing up to it and trying to be like, I'll answer your questions.
Yeah.
And when they have someone coming in that's treating them like we're peers, which like someone who's been around famous people his whole life, he'll probably be like, I'm not intimidated by this.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's part of it.
You're still interviewing for a job. That's the thing. I get
know.
that. And you be you, Shadur, because it's gotten you so far.
Yeah.
But you're still interviewing for a job.
All right, the Seahawks could use a different approach to free agency this time around. What's that look like? That's next.
People thought I was negative on Twitter when I said, I am Salk.
You're negative. You are negative.
Find I am not
Yes,
negative.
you are.
Brock and Salk.
Every morning from 6 to 10.
So how is that negative?
Because you're negative.
What? Oh, you're going.
Because I'm on the other text line with you. I go back and forth with you.
Yes.
You are tremendously negative.
Absolutely, positively.
You're negative in all regards.
Not.
It's not even just this. And now you're just a big old negative Nancy.
I'm going to punch you.
You're more negative than me.
This is Seattle Sports.
On 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Brandy Cruz. Hey, Brandy, why? Why First Mark Insurance?
Service. I wondered for a second whether I was getting the VIP treatment, and I kind of asked, hey, is this what you do for everyone? And they're like, of course. The whole First Mark Challenge is meant to be personal, right? So it really is tailored and meant to be a personal experience for every single person. I will say I've just done whatever is the quickest and cheapest type of insurance, and I realized while I was doing it, wow, this is what it feels like to get insurance as a real adult. We had a million questions, and they walked us through every step of the process, and then they're working for you. So they're not working for insurance companies, they're working for you. To experience that level of service really shows you what the difference is with First Mark.
Brandy did it. My family did it. You got to do it. It's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge. See how much money they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. What? They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Spring is finally here, and so are spring projects. So get them started at Harbor Freight's parking lot sale. This weekend, save on products like pressure washers for $69.99, 42-inch roller cabinets for under $500, plus 30% off Hercules corded power tools. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 3/9/25 while supplies last. Limitations apply, so spring in before it's over.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Seattle Sports is in Arizona for spring training baseball. Go behind the scenes with Wyman and Bob all this week from 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
Washington State ranks number 5 in the country for auto theft. The most high-risk vehicles are Kia, Hyundai, Ford F-150, F-250, and F-350. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. These tips brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
Getting engaged? At Shane Company, Dream engagement rings are our specialty. We have the most beautiful natural and lab-grown diamonds, hand-picked in every price range, ready to compare side by side. Shop online at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. This summer, experience breathtaking Cascade views and world-class dining. Elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost relaxation. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Seahawks have begun their cap-cutting moves, releasing 4 veterans from this team, 3 of them on the defensive side: Robertson-Harris, Rayshawn Jenkins, Dre Jones, and then from their offensive line, George Fant. That frees up a little over $26 million in cap space as they get ready for the start of free agency. I am sure that we will see more moves. An extension for Geno, an extension for Ernest Jones. What's going to happen with Tyler Lockett? What's going to happen with DK? Those are 4 big names we're watching. But if we're looking ahead just to free agency, we don't know yet what names the Seahawks will be adding. What kind of approach do you hope they take to free agency? Because it's a draft class that, for instance, isn't especially great with receivers. Maybe you Maybe you add offensive line in the draft and free agency. What would you just like to see them do this free agency period?
I would like to see them make moves that impact the starting lineup, specifically on the offensive line. I want to have a guy. Now, Charles Cross, you got with the number 9 pick. You knew he was going to play. But say you get to that 18th spot and Dart is gone. Nick is gone, safety out of South Carolina. I always hesitate to say his last name. So I don't want to disrespect the man and his family, his lineage.
Fair.
And then Gray Zabel. I think that whoever they get at 18 has to play right now. Now, as far as free agency, let's not mess around. Let's go and get a veteran offensive lineman who has played in a couple of systems, who is maybe 28 to 30 years of age and doesn't have a extensive injury history, passes physical, and looks absolutely great, and know that this is the guy. That's the guy that walks in the meeting room and everyone knows he's the number 1 on the depth chart. There's no competition. It's like when we brought over Dwayne Brown. You knew he was going to be the guy. No competition. That's what I want. I want not a for sure thing, because you always got to wait and see how these guys pan out. Are you going to stay healthy? Are you going to perform? But I want a guy that's walking in. He has a corner locker because they know he's the man. He got that. Now, Walter Jones is the standard, right? But he's got that type of feel. Like, I got 2 lockers, okay? I'm that dude. That's what I want when it comes to acquiring free agents. But with the draft is such a gamble because you're basing your decisions and your expectations off of college film. And, yeah, he could play in the SEC. He could play in the Big Ten. but you just don't know how it's going to pan out. Like, I watched film of Christian Haynes, and I'm like, yeah, let's get it. What conference do they play in over there? Is it the American Conference?
Christian Haynes,
Connecticut?
I don't even know. UConn?
Curtis, what conference does UConn play in?
I think, are they independent now?
They might be independent.
Or like the American Athletic?
Yeah, one of those two.
Unfortunately, not the Huskies that I follow.
Right? But you're watching film on him, and he looks good. But you're trying to project. And I think he's going to be fine. Still has some work to do. But to my point, I just want a guy who is established.
Dwayne Brown was not a free agent signing, and you and I know that. But my mind also went to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I immediately thought, I want you to get older on offense and younger on defense. That's what I want to see in free agency. I want to see an injection of talent defensively as Mike McDonald tries to maneuver and figure out what he wants, where you're like, I'm looking at a bunch of potential.
Right.
I'm looking at a bunch of young guys. I'm going to carve out a personality, a dynamic with this team, an identity that so focuses on being fast, I don't know, aggressive, violent, whatever it is defensively. I think an injection of youth and lots of potential is very intriguing to me. And you already have your leaders. You have Leonard Williams. You have Ernest Jones, assuming that you get that extension done. Meanwhile, on offense, if assuming you move on from Laken Tomlinson, Charles Cross becomes your oldest offensive lineman. Like, and I'm not saying that Charles Cross can't be a leader.
He can do it.
But you also, I'm glad you mentioned Dwayne Brown, and I'm sure that you thought of it because you've interviewed him in person before a million times. When you were interviewing Dwayne Brown, there's a presence that he has. Every single offensive lineman would be like, yeah, I turned to Dwayne. I just think you need someone there, and not that sort of like, oh, he's 36 and he's now a backup, but he's been there, so it's a veteran presence. No. I want someone who's good, who will be starting, and who can still impact the offensive line. I don't necessarily want Charles Cross to be the oldest guy in your line. And I also, while I would love to see them replenish the interior of the offensive line and draft there, do I want 3 rookies on your offensive line? Are you kidding me?
No,
No.
that's scary. That's scary talk. I'm going to drop a name and no disrespect to this man, but I don't want like a Donovan
Solano.
Solano. I don't want that.
That's fair.
You know, like he's brought up, they talk about his leadership, right? But he doesn't seem like that big presence move. That feels like a Laken Tomlinson type of move to where, you know, he can get it done. He can play. He's going to be serviceable. You know, you're not going to get an all-star type of year out of him. But I want that presence that you talked about. You're right. I interviewed Dwayne Brown a bunch of times. And it's like you're sitting there talking to a grown man. I mean, I think we might have been the same age, actually, at the time. And it's like we can talk. We can have a glass of whiskey and a cigar and just shoot the stuff and talk live. And then sometimes you interview these younger players, and they're still men, but they're young men. And the approach is different. The sound is different. The focus is different. So I think you said it right. Offensively, I wouldn't mind if Charles Cross is the guy. This would be his 4th year. But you still feel like he still has some work to do. You want almost a finished product coming in here. And maybe that's too much to ask for. Maybe they're not going to be that aggressive, or maybe that guy isn't out there a complete finished product. But give me like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. And even if, we're talking about free agents, that could still be a trade. We had a report from Courtney Cronin this morning that the Bears are trading for an offensive lineman from the Rams. I think they're sending over a 6th-round pick. I have no idea how to grade or draft how to grade that trade. Like, I don't know. Cool. But your free agent period additions can also be via trade.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't just have to look at the free agent guards available, free agent centers available. That could be a name we aren't even expecting, but both of us want to see experience added there. Coming up next, ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum talks combine and NFL free agency. Don't go anywhere.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
There's a Twitter account, I guess, called Mile High Moments, and they found the video of Dave Wyman scoring a touchdown.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
Who needs Elway when you've got Maddox to Wyman?
My pregnant wife at the time, she missed the play because she was going to the bathroom. And I guess my mom went nuts, and my brother was embarrassed.
Is that the one you said you went crazy in the end zone, and you're like,
yeah,
I didn't act like I'd been there before or something?
They were like, yeah, act like you've been there, but I haven't.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name, it's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close, and they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No, no place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
At 65 years old, Brian has a rather demanding hobby.
My biggest passion is snow skiing, and I ski between 70 and 80 days per year. And I ski instruct at a private resort in Montana.
Needless to say, that can be a bit tough on the joints.
When this knee started to bother me, I thought I'm doomed.
That's when Brian decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
If I did yard work or skied a few days in a row, I was fighting swelling and pain and no sleep and all sorts of problems, and that has absolutely gone away.
So are you back on the slopes?
I mean, I had a 14-day stretch with clients where I skied every day and had no problem. It was fine. It was just like, I felt like new.
So I'm guessing you would recommend this to others.
Oh, I already have. I've told everyone that'll listen.
Whether it's a shoulder, hip, or knee, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
It's really, truly a miracle.
In a sea of thousands of competitors, Riverside Roofing continues to stand out. And guess what? They got openings this winter for your roof project. Call 425-949-8252 or go to riversideroofingllc.com. The roofing company you can trust.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Seahawks are making moves to find extra cash ahead of free agency. The team parted ways with 4 veterans this afternoon: defensive linemen Dre Jones and Roy Robertson-Harris, safety Rayshawn Jenkins, and offensive tackle George Fant. This move frees up just over $26 million in cap space. Meanwhile, in Philly, the Eagles have made Saquon Barkley the highest-paid running back in NFL history, rewarding his historic season with a 2-year, $41.2 million extension.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum joining us right now to talk Combine and NFL free agency on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Mike, how's it going?
Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
Good. We have had a flurry of roster moves across the league over the last couple days. T. Higgins tagged again. Devontae Adams released. We had 4 roster moves with the Seahawks today. I'm going to start by asking you whether anything was actually shocking. Any of these moves actually surprised you?
Yeah, I would say Saquon Barkley getting a new deal 1 year into a contract is unusual, but says a lot of how Philadelphia is handling things, and obviously that was an historically great signing. So good for them to reward him, and it was well earned by Saquon Barkley.
Hey, we just got Mike. We got reports that Shedeur Sanders didn't impress when he went to the Combine and had his interviews. I made my own assessment off like the little sideline interviews or whatnot, but obviously I wasn't in the room with them. It's so hard to tell what's real and what's fake because, as you know, Mike, during this time of the year, you're trying to break guys down so they lose value, so maybe a team can pick them up. Like, how much do you think is real, and how much do you think is just the dance that happens this time of year?
Yeah, and it only takes one team to like him. So, to me, we'll see how it goes. We're still not early in the process, but we still have a ways to go, and he'll have a pro day. He'll have visits. So he's a really, really good player. He'll go somewhere in the first round. How high? Hard to say, but look, it only takes one. So, and that's just the beginning of the story. So he needs to get into a place and just go play well. Tell you one thing about him, guys. He's tough. He was sacked 94 times at Colorado.
Wow. This is a class with a lot of quarterback-needy teams, but not as much quarterback talent as last season. Do you predict a trade near the top? I feel like I keep seeing those in mocks.
I do. I think when you look at Cleveland, the Giants in particular, they got to come out of this with a quarterback. Now, look, we'll see what happens between now and the draft, but, we'll see if Kirk Cousins is a Brown or is Aaron Rodgers or Sam Darnold a Giant, but I would think those teams would be pretty active to make sure they come out of this with a quarterback.
Speaking of quarterbacks, we're sitting at the 18th spot here in Seattle, and there are some names floating around. We got Booker from Bama. You got Gray Zabel. We'll see if he's there. Nick, the young safety out of South Carolina. What do you think is going to happen at that position, at the 18th spot, or what do you think the Hawks should do at that position? Is it need or is it best available? The last couple of years, they've gone best available. About 10 years prior to that, they've gone for need. What do you think their approach should be?
Yeah, John Schneider's done a great job for a long time. I'm sure they'll go best available. Laken Tomlinson's a free agent, so you talk about Booker from Alabama. That's plug and play. Same thing with Greg Zabel. If healthy, you feel pretty good at the tackles with, Cross and Lucas. So, and I thought last year, Olowatini from, Michigan, he was a 5th rounder. I thought he played pretty well for Seattle.
Mike, I feel like every year there's, there are several players, but there's certainly a player where you go, this guy's the best in the class, but he's just not going to get drafted first overall or maybe even top 3. Who's that guy for you this year where you go, God, this guy's so insanely talented, but his draft positioning probably won't reflect that?
Maybe like someone like Matthew Golden from Texas, University of Houston transfer. T-Mac from Arizona, may go before him, who's also an outstanding player. Some people will evaluate Travis Hunter as a, just a receiver. But I think Golden, when you look at his time, speed, you look at his hands, I put him right up there, and I think he's going to have an outstanding career. We'll see ultimately, where he goes, but I think he's a really good player.
I enjoy the combine because I like seeing guys run and I guess compete and show their athleticism. But is there something you feel like for a specific group that is just completely unnecessary, or do you feel like the whole process is vital to trying to figure out if you like a guy or not?
Yeah, it's helpful. It's definitely helpful. Just a big believer in intangibles as well. So I think it's super helpful. Context is everything. It's outcome determinative, but it is helpful to see them in the interviews, the medical. And look, not everybody works out, but, to the extent they do, I think you get the extra credit, for being competitive and getting out there. I thought Jackson Dart really helped himself. I thought he was the best quarterback who worked out in Indy.
Mike, you're obviously incredibly well connected, and I'm sure you hear a lot of stories that you can't share. So without attaching names or a team, have you ever heard about like an interview that went poorly or just kind of surprising reasons that teams have red flagged a player where you go, man, I never thought about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you firsthand. There was times when I was with a team, we would take a quarterback off the board when we would show, some clips of their interceptions, and we would say, hey, what happened on this play? And they'd blame everybody, the play caller, the receiver for running the wrong route. And, they'd leave the room, and you would immediately take them off the board because you say to yourself, well, they're going to have more time and more money. And if they're blaming people in college, what are they going to be like, when they get to the NFL?
Right.
What was the most impressive interview that you've had, and why?
Yeah, I would say, one of the things we would always ask players is, what are you going to do with your first signing bonus check, for example? And I remember there was a player one time who said, I'm going to go buy my grandmother groceries because growing up, there was never any food in her kitchen cabinets. And, when he left the room, you thought to yourself, like, well, this player is going to be successful. Like, they'll do whatever it takes to be a good player. So it was inspiring from a, just human nature standpoint, but from a professional standpoint, you're like, well, this guy will give us everything he has.
Would that be your question? So Bump and I have always wondered, like, if you got one question to figure out maybe the character of the future, like what's at the heart of a certain player, would that be your question? What would you do with your signing bonus?
No, actually, tell me something that you've worked hard at in your career but were unable to accomplish, because that actually tells you a little bit about someone's like selflessness, competitiveness, being, aware. So that question kind of checks a few boxes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one. I like it. We keep hearing about how deep this running back class is. We've heard that maybe 25 to 30 guys might be drafted the most since 2016. Would you agree with that? And other than, I guess, Genty and then Omarion from North Carolina, who do you like?
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Sampson, Cam Scatteraboo, RJ Harvey, Neal from Kansas. There's a gazillion of them this year. There really is. And, we talked about Ollie Gordon in other years, kid from Oklahoma State. So, yeah, defensive linemen and running backs are in abundance this year for whatever reason. So, I think there'll be just a ton of those guys drafted throughout the draft.
In your experience of obviously people trying to construct teams, quarterback the most important position, every team wants their guy, not every team has them. And Seattle's in kind of a weird spot where they really like Geno and they're in a better position than a lot of other teams, but you want your young dude. What's the mindset of teams in that place? Do you just keep sticking with what works? Do you take risks and go find the young guy? Like, basically, I'm asking what you would do if you were John Schneider.
Yeah, look, I think you do what John has done. You go back to his tenure, starting off guys with like Tavares Jackson amongst others, and then, you go out and acquire Russell Wilson in the third round, and that worked out for a decade. Mm-hmm. And I think you just keep scouring, and, they've done that for a long time in Seattle, and, John's one of the best, if not the best GM because, their consistency, and you can't have enough of them. That's why, to me, if I'm Minnesota, for example, I'm going to try within reason to keep Sam Darnold. because even though I got J.J. McCarthy, you just can't have enough of them. And Geno Smith, a great story, a great starting point. But if I'm Seattle, if I could add another arm in the draft, I'm going to do that.
How do you think the transfer portal and NIL affects the way that GMs are evaluating these players these days?
Yeah, that's a great question. Look, in the old days, you'd say, hey, we're going to come in and de-recruit this player. But the reality is, like, these guys are coming in with a lot of money, or some are, and you just have to coach them a little bit differently, And that's why I think love of football is so important. And you go back to, some of the questions you ask players. I just think it's so critical to get to know them from an intangible standpoint. Do they really love football? Will they practice hurt? Will they play hurt? What kind of teammate are they going to be? And because they are coming in with more money, I think those questions are even more critical than usual.
Are there players in this year's class that you've heard those kinds of things about? Because all these guys are, right, dealing with the same things. Are there any that stand out for character things like that?
I still think it's a little early, for that. Like, I think being competitive is part of it. And some of the guys obviously just didn't work out in Indy, which is okay. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you give credit for the ones that did. And then, by the time, we get to, third week in April, you hope they either done a pro day or worked out, showed some sort of competitiveness.
What organization do you feel like hits the most? Let's go like the last 10 years. Like, I mean, we can look at the Philadelphia Eagles and what they've done. It's amazing how they assembled that team. But just draft alone, is there an organization that you feel has a process that works more than others?
Well, I like Green Bay's consistency. Ironically, that's where John Schneider came from. I like their mindset. Aaron Rodgers is in the prime of their, his career, and they trade up a fourth-round pick to go get Jordan Love. And, look how smart that move looks now. So I like their consistency to trying to, develop and draft quarterbacks. I think that works out really well, in the long term.
Hey, Mike, point of view of a GM here. I always wonder if there's a different kind of evaluation or approach to free agency compared to something like the draft for a GM, because, for instance, we would love to see the Mariners on the baseball side of things invest more in free agency, but they've constantly said, we don't want to overpay guys. Like, we'd rather draft and develop whatever. In football, is there kind of the same approach with free agency where it's like, this guy's a free agent for a reason, you're always overpaying, or is there a good way that you can attack it?
Yeah, I think, context is everything. Like, you could be opportunistic. Look, if you go back a year ago, Saquon Barkley was less money than guys like Gabe Davis, who were second and third receivers. So I think you can be opportunistic sometimes. Someone's coming off of an injury or suspension. I do think there's times that free agency can be very, very helpful. But I've also been part of teams like the Miami Dolphins when we signed Ndamukong Suh. He was a great player. We had to be very aggressive. We were, and that's when you're paying top dollar.
There's nothing that's a for sure thing in the draft, right? I was on a team when the Hawks drafted Aaron Curry. He was supposed to be ready to go. I went to Wazoo. You got Ryan Leaf. But is there a prospect that you feel like is as close to a for sure thing as you can get?
Well, I'm just fascinated by Travis Hunter. Like, just imagine the football character somebody like him has where, he's playing 115 snaps a game. Just to be able to know your responsibilities on both sides of the ball. Like, I don't need to talk to him. I know he loves football. I know he's a hard worker. You can't be that good of a player on both sides of the ball unless you love football and you're really competitive.
Absolutely agree. He seems like a really good kid, too. But, Mike, do you agree with Travis Hunter that it's harder to play two ways in football than it is in baseball for Shohei Ohtani?
Just the physicality of our sport is I put his, sort of like track record up against anybody. Look, they're both great athletes in the world of sports right now. But yeah, given the physicality of what Travis Hunter has to do, it's hard to bet against him.
Ooh, all right. You going for physicality over skill? I can respect that. Is there a quarterback that you feel like isn't getting enough love? Me, Mike, I love some Kyle McCord. I've been talking about him for months now. Is there someone that you like that people don't really know about or isn't getting enough attention?
I'd say Jackson Dart. I thought he threw the ball really well last weekend, and really good athlete from Utah. Had a cup of coffee at USC. Led the nation in yards per pass attempt. I think he's going to be a top 20 pick when it's all said and done.
Is there a contract mistake that GMs can regularly make? And this is why I ask. We've been talking about, like, oh my God, wide receiver contracts are ballooning. It's so crazy. We could be talking about Jamar Chase making, $36 million plus when that used to be record-breaking numbers for a quarterback. And this is probably a feeling everyone has. Like, you live long enough and you go, wow, crazy money. But is there a hole that teams can find themselves in, like where the Saints are, for instance, where it's kind of something you don't want to do?
Yeah, and look, you try to take shots within context and be a little bit aggressive here or there. Now, look, people have said that about the Saints for a long time. They've been able to work around it, and they got a good young coach in Kellen Moore, and I think they'll turn out to be just fine. Maybe it takes them a year to clean it up, but when you're trying to win a Super Bowl with Sean Payton and push it forward a couple of years, at some point you do have to pay the bill.
ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum, kind enough to join us to talk combine, NFL free agency, draft history, lots of good stuff. Thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Vikings reportedly will not franchise tag quarterback Sam Darnold, leaving him free to sign elsewhere in free agency. What's the real headline?
Are we looking at the Raiders' next target?
You're looking at about 3 or 4 teams next target, right? Everyone got a target, but are you going to hit that target? We shall see. We just talked to Mike. Mike said the Vikings should do everything they can to keep this guy. Franchise tag for a quarterback is $40.2 million, according to sources. His market value, Sam Darnold's market value, is about $40.1 million. So what are you going to do if you're trying to keep Sam Darnold? If you are the Vikings, what you do is you give him a big old signing bonus. And then the average value, his yearly contract or whatever he gets paid every year, it's just smaller. So you take care of him up front, and then you take care of him on the back end. And I'm not opposed to this. You got a young quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. He sat for a year. You and I talked about it earlier. Mental reps are great. You know, I get mental reps watching the Masters every April, watching all the greatest golfers do their thing. Looks good. I'm taking in all the notes, but I got to go out there and practice that, and I'll never be what they are, right? You got to get out there and feel the game. So why not bring Sam Darnold for another year or 2, right, and let this young man feel the game, get these reps in practice, get the reps in garbage time, get the reps during the preseason. He's got to feel it. But if I am the Giants, if I'm the Jets, man, if I'm the Raiders, maybe even the Browns, I'm taking my shot at Sam Darnold. But I think the best situation for him, it's already been proven. We've seen it already. Keep him in Minnesota. See if you guys can run it back, because you know that division is going to be tough. The Chicago Bears are going to be better. The Lions are going to be healthier and better. The Green Bay Packers were young last year. I'm just saying, man, I do everything I can to keep him there, let J.J. McCarthy grow. We asked Mike Tannenbaum, who was just on with us, hey, it's not a deep quarterback class, and there are a lot of quarterback-needy teams. That includes the Raiders at, I think, 6. Do you think there's going to be a trade at the top? And he said, I do. I do think we're going to see some movement pretty early. I've seen a mock trade where that's the Giants swapping from 3 to 1. Titans go back and take Abdul Carter. If you were the Raiders, would you go, you know what, let's just get talent. We can get a really talented player at 6, and then we'll get a quarterback like Darnold? Or would you try everything you can to get to number 1? I try everything I can to get to number 1. Everything I can. Look what Pete Carroll helped build with Russell Wilson, a 3rd-round pick. Had a great defense, Legion of Boom. I understand that, not getting it twisted. But he's a relationship type of person. I think that's huge when it comes to developing a quarterback. When you look at Sam Darnold over there with the Minnesota Vikings, the first thing that people talk about is his relationship with Kevin O'Connell. It's huge. Now, you got to be able to throw the rock, make good decisions, understand the offense. All that stuff is good. But if I'm the Raiders, I'm doing everything I can to get to number 1. I don't think it's going down, though. Tennessee needs a quarterback.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2. Dallas Mavericks All-Star Kyrie Irving suffered a season-ending ACL injury during the Mavs loss to the Kings last night. What's the real headline? Yeah, this Mavs season is quickly becoming the second worst thing to happen in Dallas.
Nico Harrison, he needs bodyguards at all times walking around Dallas. You got Kyrie Irving, who's 32 years old. He's an old 32 in the league. He's been in the league like 12 years already. He's playing 36 minutes a game. That's the 3rd most in the NBA, behind another 36-year-old in Kevin Durant. and then a 34-year-old in Dame Dollar, and then LeBron at age 40, it has the 8th most minutes. Also, I know this is about Kyrie and Dallas, and you guys know I'm an LA guy, but I'm not necessarily a LeBron guy.
Okay.
Can we just acknowledge what the heck Bron is doing right now at 40 years of age? Dunking on dudes, 8th when it comes to minutes. It's crazy. He's older than me, all right? And I work out every day. There's no way I'm getting on a flag football field right now in a church league in Monroe and doing the things that LeBron is doing. So big ups to him. I feel bad for Dallas. I feel bad for Kyrie because they were pushing this dude, man. They're like, 80's out. All right, you gotta carry us. You gotta take us to the promised land. Keep us relevant. The question now is, are they gonna be able to hold on to make it to the playoffs? And if you do get to the playoffs, what are you gonna get out of them? Is 80 gonna come back? I believe it's like a 3-week injury, or 2 or 3 more weeks he has left. Who knows, man? It's when it rains, it pours, and it's storming in Dallas.
LeBron, obviously one of the most famous NBA players ever, still getting it done. Will go down in the history books for 1,000,005 things, but also kind of polarizing. And I know that you feel more than one way about him, as do I. What are the 2 things when you look at Bron, you go, I really, really respect this, and I like this, and I appreciate this about him, but I can't love him because I can't get over blank?
Well, if we're talking just basketball alone, his IQ is crazy.
Yeah.
He can play any position. He's one of the smartest basketball players of all time. Personally, he's never gotten into any type of trouble off the court. My GOAT, Kobe Bryant, got into some trouble off the court. Things that I don't like about him are, I say I don't like, that just rubs me the wrong way. I don't really vibe with. It's just he doesn't seem like a killer. And you talk about Kobe, you talk about Jordan, even SGA got that killer in him right now, but he does it in a different way. So just because he doesn't do it the way that I appreciate doesn't mean he doesn't have it in him. It's just I'm old school. I'm 90s, 2000s basketball. It doesn't feel like that.
Curtis, before we move on to the next one, do you feel the same way about Bron? Are you like all in? I'm a huge LeBron fan. Or are you like, yeah, there's always this one thing that kind of...
Oh, I completely respect his greatness. I mean, 10 straight trips to the finals. We're never going to see that again.
Yeah.
The only issue I have with him is that you look at the sheer number of superstar players that he's played with. It's wild just how many he's played with, where you look at like all the other greats, they don't really have the kind of sidekicks that he does. I mean, prime Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Luka now, Anthony Davis. It's quite the star-studded list. Not to say that like LeBron would not have accomplished what he's accomplished, without those guys, but he's had a lot of help.
Fair.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3: the Kraken have recalled Philip Grubauer on Monday, the day before his bobblehead night. Something's a little odd here. What's the real headline?
At least he'll have a souvenir to bring back with him.
Oh, dang.
No, I don't mean to sound disrespectful.
Dang.
I really don't.
What you mean? Yeah, you do.
Okay, a little bit, but it's in this way. It really does feel like they're bringing him up for this bobblehead night. Like, it does not feel like
That's
a true
it.
elevation or recalling someone to be like, let's do this,
No.
Philip. We really believe in you again.
Nah, this is for that German dude who spit in my beer on accident. Talking about Grubauer.
His numbers in the AHL have been pretty much the same as they were in the NHL.
Man, this is called business. We're doing this business moves. Start them. You got the owners coming down to the dressing room and saying, you better start Grubauer.
We spent thousands of dollars
on these bobbleheads.
Start them.
And we're not going to leave them in these boxes. It would be great if he had a phenomenal night.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Like just a phenomenal performance on his bobblehead night.
Sure. I don't think he's capable of that, but yeah, we're rooting for it.
Watch him just ball out.
I know, but
30 saves.
Minnesota's a good team.
Yeah, he's been one of the more.
He's the most polarizing Kraken player since their inception
of all time.
Yes.
The thing about
Storied
Grubauer
history.
is like even hockey
Deep
experts, like the best, most knowledgeable voices in hockey we had on were like, well, you've got Grubauer. That's a great place to start.
Oh, man.
And it's like, I think that he just, it's not like the biggest shock ever, but I really do think it was like very few people saw that coming.
Hey, 2 years ago, I'm at a German pub telling this German man that Grubauer is struggling, and he's so passionate. He's yelling, spitting on my face and my beer, and I go, all right, maybe he's right. All right, we're done here. Somebody find him.
Seattle,
My bad, go for it, Stacy.
Seattle Times. Bob Condotta joining us next.
Seattle Sports is in Arizona for spring training baseball.
Our goal really is to come out of spring training and to play that consistent brand of baseball from beginning to end.
Go behind the scenes with Wyman and Bob as the Seattle Mariners get ready for the 2025 season. All this week from 2 to 7.
What a masterful performance by the big right-hander Logan Gilbert.
And hear every pitch of spring training baseball on Seattle Sports. Streaming on the Seattle Sports app.
Holy smokes.
No more football means I'm ready for an escape, and since my weekends are free, I'm looking for some fun, relaxing, and something with entertainment built in. I got just a place for you, Silver Reef Casino and Resort. They got a hotel, they got a spa, and they got multiple restaurants, including the best steakhouse north of Seattle and brand new The Cantina. They got concerts and events, and hold up, they got golfing as well, so you know when the weather is better, I am back out there. It is all systems go on Silver Reef Casino Resort. Don't try to tell me it's too far. You spend more time sitting in traffic on I-5. Actually, hop on I-5, go north, and you're basically there. You can even fill up. They have some of the cheapest gas prices around. Join Reef Rewards for free, and you'll get 10% off at the resort. Don't wait. Visit Silver Reef Casino Resort, silverreefcasino.com to book your stay. They got something for everyone at Silver Reef Casino.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Sia, and I support Humane World for Animals, formerly called the Humane Society of the United States. Together, we have created a new version of Peter Gabriel's beautiful song, Salisbury Hill, to celebrate Humane World for Animals and everything they do. Enjoy the song and join us in helping Humane World for Animals end animal cruelty.
Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. It's Mike Salk here, and this summer you can experience breathtaking Cascade views, world-class dining, and of course the best entertainment. Elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. The hotel opens this summer with deluxe king and 2 queen rooms, premiums, grand suites, signature suites, and the breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. For more details, go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
Hey, Bill! Got a leak? Need heat? Call Southwest today.
Southwest Plumbing, the one to call.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center. Saturday night, May 10th. Experience the thrill of live MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this exciting mixed martial arts event. The World Fighting Championships, May 10th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save over $1,000 in your first year versus other major carriers. Plus, ask how to get iPhone 16e on us. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment tax and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual savings vary.
Washington State ranks number 5 in the country for auto theft. The most high-risk vehicles are Kia, Hyundai, Ford F-150, F-250, and F-350. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. These tips brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Seahawks made a flurry of roster moves this morning, freeing up a bit of cap space. Joining us right now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline is Seattle Times reporter Bob Condotta. Bob, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. I'll start with the big question. Why were these moves made today, do you think?
Well, because they've got to do something before the new league year begins next week. So you had to clear out cap space before next week. I mean, as of heading into the day, they weren't even compliant with the cap. They were 6.8 million over it or whatever, and you got to be at or under the cap by the time next Wednesday rolls around. But they obviously have some other things they want to get done. Most notably is I think they're trying to get Ernest Jones re-signed before that free agent negotiating period begins Monday. I think they'd probably like to do that. So I think this helps as well. But these were all obvious moves. The only one I sort of wondered about was if there would have been some way to do something with Dre'Mont Jones and keep him around on a cheaper deal or something like that. And who knows? We've seen them cut players before, bring it back later. But, you weren't going to pay George Fant, Rayshawn Jenkins, and Robertson-Harris what they were due this year, given the rules they had at the end of last season. So, those were just obvious moves that were going to happen at some point.
Well, Bob, the biggest cut, you mentioned it was Dre Jones. What did you see out of him or not see out of him that you felt made the Seahawks feel comfortable with making that move?
Yeah, he just, I think he just didn't really make the kind of impact for what they were paying him that they had hoped. I mean, he was the highest paid external, that was the most money they've ever given to an external free agent during the free agent signing period in team history when they signed him 2 years ago. I think they had got, there were some other moves they were maybe at that time. I mean, I think with Jones, I think there was always a little bit of the issue is he more of an inside guy or more of an outside guy? And I think with the salary he had, you were probably hoping he would make more of an impact as an outside pass rusher. But that didn't really happen quite the way they had hoped this season. When Mike McDonald took over, they talked about using him more on the edge. He lost some weight. He kind of wouldn't tell us exactly how much he'd lost, but he had talked about how he had lost some weight in the offseason, was hoping to, was learning how to was practicing how to drop in coverage a little bit because he thought he was going to have to do more of that. But I don't know if that was the best role for him. And then he also ended up just, when Leonard Williams got hurt and things like that, or early in the season, he ended up having to move inside. They kind of just ended up using him more there. And so I think it's just kind of, again, for what they were going to have to pay him for next year, the cap savings that they have, that just wasn't going to be worth it. So, unfortunately, he kind of just didn't become, I think ideally they had hoped maybe he could have play a Michael Bennett kind of role and have that kind of impact. But that just didn't really happen.
The move frees up over $26 million in cap space. That still doesn't feel like enough. That can go pretty quickly. So what can they do? What other moves can they do to create even more cap space?
I mean, Tyler Lockett is the main one, and I think everybody expects that will happen sometime in the next couple of days, and that'll save $17 million against the cap for next year. And as to why they wouldn't have just done that today, I think they probably want to give Tyler his own day when that happens and have all the focus be on him. And you see the team when they make these moves, they they put, they kind of say goodbye on their website and do tribute stories and things like that. Tyler Lockett obviously is deserving of as much of that as anybody that they've ever done. So I think that may be what's going on there. They'll want to do it. The other reason, when you ask the timing, the other reason with all these guys is they become immediate free agents, right? So they could all sign right this minute with another team, and that's something most teams try to do. But the Seahawks have always been cognizant of that, of trying to give these guys that opportunity to get out there and get with the team before the free agent period begins. So there's kind of some advantage for these guys to fit it now. But Tyler would be the one that would be coming that way. And then we know they're trying to do something with Uchenna and Busso's contract. And, obviously it's not just your basic restructure that they're probably working on with Uchenna, because that you could have done easily. So, I think I think they want to keep Uchenna, but I think they'd like to do it at a cap hit of less than $21 million for next year.
What do you think is the next move, or what is priority number one now? Is it Geno or is it decaf coffee, right? DK Metcalf.
Of those two, the immediate move is Ernest Jones. Because he can, start talking to other teams on Monday. DK and Geno are each other under contract for next year, so there's not quite as much of a priority there. I don't know that DK's the top, anywhere near the top priority at the moment. I think that's something you could go through and kind of see what happens there. I think Geno, simply because of the $44.5 million cap hit that he has, and that you want to keep him around. I think they would probably try to like to get that done sooner, just so you sort of know exactly what the lay of the land is going to be for your cap situation, and be able to kind of make use of that right now. You can redo DK and bring down his cap hit as well, which is right about $31 million. But I think if you redo Geno, maybe if you cut Tyler, figure out do something with Uchenna's contract, and then if you could do something with Geno as well to bring that down, that would give you quite a bit of space there to then get some things done. And I don't know if you have to rush into it with DK. And, I don't know if, who knows what DK is asking for as well. Maybe DK doesn't want to either. Maybe this is one of those things where they want to, they want to kind of, play, kind of see who blinks first maybe on that one. But I think with Geno, I think it's more of a priority because of the quarterback and because of how high his cap hit is.
What kind of approach do you think they might take to that offensive line? John Schneider got a ton of questions from you guys about it at the Combine, kind of defended himself a little, saying, hey, we've drafted the second most offensive lineman, but he knows that it's a problem. Would you anticipate some of this money being used in free agency on a lineman, potentially even pick number 18 as well?
For sure. I think they'll explore all of that. The issue is that there aren't a lot of great offensive linemen available in free agency. Now, there are some, Drew Dahlman, veteran center. There's some guys, but, you're already seeing, one of the things always about examining all the free agent lists is that teams start to re-sign. This is around the time teams start to re-sign their own guys. And you saw, Trey Smith is going to be is essentially off the market with Kansas City. And, I think 3 of the top 15, consensus free agents have all kind of been spoken for here in the last few days and likely staying with their teams. And you're probably going to see more of that. So, they kind of have to wait till Monday and get a real sense of who is available and then figure that out. I don't sense they're going to want to, go real big on spending on free offensive line. You're basically talking guards and centers there, and they're going to have to pay Charles Cross quite a bit of money here at some point. Maybe they're likely just going to pick up this 5th-year option for 2026, but. I think they feel like with the tackles, eventually we're going to have to pay those 2 guys. I think they're still counting on Abe Lucas. So it might be more of that second wave of free agents with guards and centers and trying to add there and then trying to do it in the draft. But, Mike McDonald really went out of his way a couple of times, at the Combine to talk about how they really feel like the Clint Kubiak and the new coaches they have with the offensive line, they feel like they're going to be a better fit for the current offensive linemen they have. And so, while that might not be exciting to people to just say, hey, we're hoping we can get more out of Christian Haynes or something next year, I do think that's a big part of their plan is not writing those guys off and feeling like what they're doing now might really fit. I think Christian Haynes in particular is a guy they feel like, 3rd round pick last year, that this could be a real new lease on life for him. So I think they're going to not necessarily spend a ton of money on veterans there, and I think they're going to want to count on that there can be some improvement from within with some of these guys, and you're going to then kind of add more second and third wave free agent veterans probably. Maybe you spend some significant money on one guy, but maybe not all three of those positions, and then also attack it in the draft if it's there.
All right. He is Seattle Times Seahawks reporter Bob Condotta. Again, keeping an eye out for some more Seahawks roster moves over the next couple of days. Thanks so much, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, thanks a lot, you guys. Yep, bye.
All right. Still to come, we're going to stick with the NFL at 1 p.m. CBS Sports and NFL Network's Charles Davis is going to join us. So many moves, not just in Seattle, but outside of Seattle. We haven't gotten back to the Devontae news, really. We haven't talked a ton about T. Higgins. So where's Aaron Rodgers going to play? I don't know. So all kinds of stuff to cover as we inch towards the start of free agency with Charles Davis.
I'll tell you where he's going to play.
Where?
Jacksonville.
No.
I don't know. I'm just throwing some out there.
Oh, God. NFL headlines coming your way next.
The John Schneider Show.
With Wyman and Bob.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
You're down at the Combine. What's the biggest priority that you want to know about these players?
Yeah, I would say having our coaches here this year, interviewing the players in person and watching them interact, how they respond to the teaching, and can they teach the coaches. That's probably the most important thing this year. We didn't bring the guys last year because everybody was just installing our systems and getting going. So it's pretty cool having those guys here this year.
Hear the rest of this interview on demand at seattlesports.com and on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
At Sound Pain Solutions, some of the most difficult cases we see are patients suffering from failed back surgery syndrome. Bill is an avid golfer, but his pain got so bad he couldn't play and was considering surgery.
My back was killing me. I could not play any more golf. I could not walk more than half a block. I did not want surgery on my back, and I researched many different ways of getting this fixed. Behind that was horror stories from my friends who had back surgery, but it wasn't worth it, and I just made conclusion to that. There's got to be another way.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We were able to get Bill back on the course without the risk of surgery. We did this using non-invasive, FDA-cleared procedures like non-surgical decompression, laser, pressure wave, and bioelectrical treatments. Now, Bill is back to playing golf and enjoying life. Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free treatment by calling Sound Pain Solutions or visiting soundpainsolutions.com.
I've always said, the car sales in the 1980s and 1990s, earned the rep that we have today. The concerns that consumers have because of what has happened in our industry in the past, they're warranted. It's our job to show them that that's not how business is done anymore, right? It's very different business. It's much more transparent. There's much more information that's available to people, and we're much more customer focused than I think the car industry was, 20, 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm more focused on providing good customer service and relationships because I think if you take care of people, money will always come. So I think just the philosophy and the focus for us has changed, where I was constantly chasing a paycheck, and now I'm just constantly trying to take care of customers and employees, because I know if I do that, then my paycheck will take care of itself.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. The season's next tryout for adults ages 18 to 65 and older is this Saturday, March 8th at Hogan Park at Russell Road in Kent. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school and even former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
The The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. With thousands of full replacements with expert craftsmanship and unbeatable warranties, we've been building roofs you can trust for over 5 decades. It's more than just a job, it's our promise to you. Protect your investment with a free Golden Pledge warranty on all GAF roof replacements over $15,000. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Jay Leno, live Wednesday, April 9th at Muckleshoot Event Center. Come laugh it up with one of comedy's living legends. No politics, no lectures, just jokes, and they're all clean. Get your tickets before they sell out at muckleshootcasino.com. Jay Leno live Wednesday, April 9th, only at Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Muckleshoot. There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
A lot of NFL headlines today, so let's get to it. The Jets are releasing Davante Adams. This just 5 months after initially trading for him. They saved nearly $30 million in cap space with this move. Bump, yes, tell me what you made of Adams' time with the Jets, but also, what do we think his next move will or should be?
Everyone, if you're a receiver, should be trying to get to the Commanders.
Just go there.
Just go. Just show up on their doorstep and be like, I'm here. We didn't ask for you, Davante. Don't matter. I'm here. I could use you. You could use me. You got Debo. You got Scary Terry. I can be the underneath guy. Maybe he goes to Houston. Help out that team over there. You got to get offensive line going there. But he is, I'm telling you, there's still some sauce left in them legs. There's still some juice, and I think that he can get it done. So if I am the Commanders, number one, the Texans, number two, even the Dallas Cowboys, right? You need CeeDee Lamb needs some help over there. You go ahead and get this guy. There's still a lot of value in Davante Adams.
Another wide receiver was not released, but instead tagged again. Chad Johnson said the Bengals are being disrespectful in franchise tagging T. Higgins a second time. Do you think it's disrespectful or somehow a disservice to T? Because they could still extend him. I believe it's a May or July deadline. I can't remember.
It's disrespectful for at the player's perspective. Because they're looking for long-term stuff. They want that security, and I get that. But with the Bengals, they want to make sure, okay, we lock him down, but we can still move him and try to get some things going. You can even have a new contract set up. This just buys you some time. So I get what Ocho Cinco's talking about because he's done enough to be extended 3 or 4 years and be the Robin to Jamar Chase's Batman. But yeah, I get that point of view. But in reality, it's buying themselves some time. And look, if you ain't going to extend me, at least give me $26 million guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed.
I'll take that.
All that year.
Yeah.
1 year, $26 million contract. Next up, Ian Rappaport says it's more likely Justin Fields is Pittsburgh's starting quarterback in 2025 than Russell Wilson.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. They have Russell Wilson, who's set to be a free agent. They have Justin Fields, who's set to be a free agent. And it certainly seems, as according to the words of several Steelers executives over the last couple weeks, it seems like they're likely to go with one of those options for this year. As of right now, based on my understanding, Justin Fields is more likely to be the starting quarterback of the Steelers than Russell Wilson. They do not have a deal. Fields does have a really good market going into free agency, but similar to Darnold, the Steelers have the opportunity over the next week or so to lock it in right now and get their starting quarterback for 2025.
That last line is really interesting to me. It's a weak free agent quarterback class. Justin Fields could be one of the most sought after free agents at quarterback. Are the Steelers going to be able to offer you as much as you can get elsewhere?
You got to roll with Justin Jefferson. Thank you, Russell Wilson, for going over there and showing Justin Jefferson how to be a professional.
Wait, Justin Fields.
Why? Thank you.
But I didn't want you to keep saying it.
Thank you, Justin Fields.
I knew what you meant.
For being showing him how to be a professional. You know, there's some things that he learned. But when you're 26 years of age, when you can rush for 1,000 yards, we can work with you. With Russell Wilson, you know what you're going to get, man. The good days are way beyond him. We're on the 17th hole, baby. We about to try to play an extra 9 after this. You know, like, that's where Russell is in his career. So I think Russell still holds value, but if you're trying to build, you're trying to look towards the future, you have to go with the younger talent. Less injuries on the body. He's bigger, faster, stronger. Might not be able to process the way that Russell Wilson has in the last few years, but optimistic, man. That's what youth does. Keeps you optimistic.
Have you ever done that? Played 18 holes and then played another 9?
I played another 9. I played another 18.
What's the most golf you've played in one day?
36 plus 9. 45.
So you made 4 separate trips to a golf course?
Nah, I probably played the same course twice, and then on the way home played another 9 somewhere else.
Man, you have an addiction.
I do.
Next up, Chris Canty thinks the Cowboys should not pay Micah Parsons for this reason.
But when it comes to the first player that I would be interested in trading away from that franchise, it'd be Micah Parsons. It'd be the pass rusher. And I get it. When it comes to all the pass rush metrics, this guy is top 5 since he's come into the league. He's number 1 in pressures since he was drafted into the NFL. He's an absolute game record, phenomenal talent. But your defense was absolutely awful last year. You had the worst defense in the league. With Micah Parsons on the field more often than not. The guy played in 13 games. So your defense was terrible with him. If your defense ain't winning with him, we cannot win without him too. And I guess my whole point is I don't see a path to where you pay Micah Parsons top of the market money, along with franchise tagging Odigizua, along with paying Dak $60 million, along with paying CeeDee Lamb $34 million, where the Cowboys can fortify their roster, both sides of the ball, and be competitive. I don't see a world where that could happen.
Listen, I did not like Chris Canty's take on Joe Burrow. I kind of saw the logic with this one.
This is where I'm not mad at him, but this is where his argument's flawed.
Okay.
Is just because you were bad with him doesn't mean you want to be bad without him. He is still one of the best defensive players in the game. If we're talking about his impact on a game, you want to keep Micah Parsons. Now, where he's making sense is when you're talking money. How are you going to pay all of these people? Right? And it's not like you're building a defense that is so close to being really good. No, you have a good player over there. I get that. The good with him, good without him, or bad with, bad without him. You can be bad with him, but once you start adding players to that bad, it gets better faster. To whereas if you're starting with nothing, you start adding players, it takes longer to get there. But once you start talking money, you're trying to rebuild, and you're paying CD, and you're paying Dak, and you're looking to get other free agents, that makes complete sense. But you want Micah Parsons on your defense if you can afford him and afford to get other players.
Cowboys are such a weird team for a lot of reasons, but one of them being that when I think of bad teams or teams that have consistently struggled, if I ask you, and name 3 stars from that team, usually you're struggling. Usually you're like, dang, I don't know that I could tell you. And that's kind of why they're bad. They're still figuring it out, right? If I said name 3 current Arizona Cardinals stars, you'd go Budda Baker. Kyler Murray?
Marvin Harrison?
Sure. Marvin Harrison, great. But we work in football.
Yeah.
But the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, they have one of the best wide receivers in football, one of the best pass rushers in football, and they just can't get anything done with that group.
Nah, they need reinforcement.
Yeah.
And how you get a reinforcement, you got to cut some losses and create some cap space. But don't disrespect Micah Parsons. A bad defense with Micah Parsons gets better a lot faster if you can add to it.
Is it kind of like losing 15 games feels worse than losing 11? A little bit like that, where it's like
took me a while to
being bad
process
without
that,
hope is worse.
Yeah.
Last up here, ESPN's Jordan Reed mocks the Giants taking Cam Ward #1 overall because obviously they swap picks with the Tennessee Titans. Of the teams following the Titans at #1, you've got the Browns, the Giants, The Raiders are in there as far as quarterback needy teams. The Jets, maybe. Is there a move that you can see that's really believable? Trading up to number 1. This would be trading to number 1 to take Cam.
Yeah, I can see the Vegas Raiders moving up. I can see the Giants moving up. Those are my 2 candidates, right? Because Cleveland's going to stay put. They're going to get a quarterback regardless. They don't have to do anything. Now, you could try to flip Myles Garrett and try to blow this whole thing up, and we shall see. But after that, everyone else is pretty much set. New Orleans can try to move up, but I don't think they have enough over there to give up. Yeah, it's Vegas. It's the Giants.
Reflecting on some of the biggest news from the day, and there have been a lot of moves with CBS Sports and NFL Network's Charles Davis next.
4 down territory. Going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
What part of football has changed, and do you like it?
2-point conversions. Like, we are chasing points. The game has changed. 2-point conversions and 4th downs. So we're seeing coaches dive into the data like a lot of people do with baseball. And I like it, and it is weird at the same time because I'm not used to seeing these 4th down conversions or attempts and these 2-point conversions.
4 down territory. Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
We at 3 Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service. 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Is that a new Samsung Galaxy A15 5G?
Yeah, I got it for free when I joined Cricket Nation.
Sounds pretty great.
At Cricket, anyone can get a new phone when they switch.
Whoa.
With a high-quality camera, meaning more flattering selfies for all, and super fast 5G, so you can post them for all to see. Your friends, your family, your ex. Free phone! Free phone!
Okay, I'll switch.
Welcome to Cricket Nation.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must bring your number to Cricket on a $60 a month voice plan. First month service charge and tax to its sale. Fees, terms, and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
You're losing your hair and you want a simple solution that works. And you want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Parango and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration, from the experience itself to the unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, they were recently crowned 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. 425-449-8185. If you qualify, get $250 off and $250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185. Refine your hairline with a team that's redefined hair restoration. AdvancedHair.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. The season's next tryout for adults ages 18 to 65 and older is this Saturday, March 8th at Hogan Park at Russell Road in Kent. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school and even former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Seahawks are making moves to find some cash ahead of free agency. The team parted ways with 4 veterans this afternoon: defensive lineman Dre Jones and Roy Robertson-Harris, safety Rayshawn Jenkins, and offensive tackle George Fant. The moves free up just over $26 million in cap space.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline, it's CBS Sports and NFL Network's Charles Davis. And Charles, you were on the call at the Combine for NFL Network. It feels silly to ask because you have so many to choose from, but was there a moment in particular that you just absolutely loved?
That's a great question. I think for me it's moments, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I just love the end of each drill, and you see all those guys run to the end zone to celebrate, and it's a relief. I mean, I can't imagine. Well, actually, I can. I did it many, many moons ago, but I wasn't nearly the player a lot of these kids are. But everything that goes into the preparation, the anxiety, even though a player will never admit to it, the mental, okay, do I measure up? Am I better than this person? Will this be my best weekend? You know, my best 2 days of working out that I need to impress these people. And then you go out and you put it all out there. And then it's over, and that's got to be the biggest relief in most cases. And the best part is you're not a team, but you become there's a bond, and you can see it at the end when they all go there. And you know, you have the ones who can do the backflips. You got the ones who can do the front deal and finish it with a round off. And then we saw Tate Ratledge, the offensive lineman for Georgia. He just did a somersault, which was cool, which I thought was the most fun thing.
That would be my move.
There. But for me, it's just very simply, so much goes into it to see the relief, the exultation, the joy, and then there are plenty of them that there's no joy. They didn't hit the numbers they wanted to hit. Things didn't go quite right. Their biorhythms were off for the weekend. They got hurt. Who knows what it is? So there's all that mixed up in it.
Charles, before I ask my question, I want to tell you something. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. I'm watching the Combine with my 12-year-old, and he goes, man, Dad, I really like his voice. No joke. He was talking about, you should,
oh, wow.
You should talk like him. I go, well, you know, we got to have our own style and stuff. But yeah, just my 12-year-old really loved your voice and your analysis, and that I'm not making that up. It's crazy.
Well, you tell him thank you very, very much, and I greatly appreciate it. And here's the thing. He's 12, right? I will tell you, he will come back around to where Dad's voice is number one. But for right now, you are in that range where they like others, that sort of deal. Like, as a player, you've seen it, right? Where other teammates or what have you bring their kids around. And are those teammates' kids wearing their dad's jersey, or are they wearing their favorite player's jersey?
Favorite player.
It happens all the time. It always happens, right? And dad's like, what? What's going on here? And then when they get older and they have it all encapsulated, dad always comes out number one at that point. Just take some time.
I'm going to bring up this moment. I'm going to record this, and then when they come back around, I'm like, look, Charles told you. All right, here we go. But,
it's real quick, it's the old Mark Twain. Remember the Mark Twain comment where the kid went away from home and came back and said, it's amazing how smart the old man got in the 7 years I was gone.
Yep. But my football question is, have you ever seen somebody, because I think we were watching the running back drills when my son made that comment, and then we saw some guys kind of stumble over the bags, and he's asking questions about this guy and that guy. I go, well, that's SEC Player of the Year there. That's Damian Martinez. And I'm giving him the rundowns, and he's like, how come they're not good at these drills? And I go, well, they're drills. And he goes, well, how are they is that really going to affect their draft status? I go, not really, but they just want to see some stuff. Have you ever seen a prospect who had a great year just come out and do horrible in the combine, yet still get drafted pretty high?
Yeah, I actually have seen it. I've seen it, and it's a great question because we put so much into the combine. Obviously, it's a televised event, and a whole lot of people watch it. There's no way to totally quantify, what people thought of a player going in, and then if he had a lousy combine, you know what I mean?
Right.
Did that really drop him 2 rounds, 3 rounds, which we dramatically talk about? I think rarely happens. But I have seen where players have had really rough combines. Now, the beauty of it is if you have a rough one, you usually have a second chance at the apple, which is your pro day back at your school. And my favorite example of this was Joe Hayden. You remember him, the great corner who played in Cleveland and Pittsburgh? Joe came in one of the highly touted people. And I'm telling you, if it could have gone wrong at the combine for Joe Hayden, it went wrong. Drills, you name it. He's stumbling around. He's turning the wrong way. He's doing everything. And then, of course, he's supposed to run. And, we expect Joe to be super fast. And he runs way slower than anyone expected. And, it became the buzz of the combine. Like, what happened to Joe Hayden? 3 weeks later, he runs in his pro day at Florida. And Joe ran a sub 4.4. I think he ran 4.35, 4.36. And it was on natural grass, not even on turf. So that adds like a 0.5 to your timing. So everybody went, oh, that's the Joe Hayden we were expecting. So everything went away. Okay. Now there's another player I saw, and I'll be real quick on this one. Wide receiver, SEC school. I will not mention his name because it's not fair to him. He ran a wide receiver now, folks, a 4.9 something.
Ooh-wee.
I kid you not. And then he came back and did it a second time, and I think he may have lowered it to a high 4.8 something. I think I can't remember. I think I'm really trying to give him some points here. Truthfully, the 4.9 whatever stuck in my head, everyone's head. I don't know that we ever saw that player again. I really don't. I don't know that pro day. I don't know whatever. That one just kind of eliminated him, mainly because of position. Like, I don't care what you do, you can't run 4.9 something. Although Jake Bobo,
I was gonna say,
I don't have it in front of me, but Jake Bobo ran a time that normally you just go, son, as Chuck Noll used to say, it's time for you to get on with your life work.
I want to say it was a 4.7.
Yeah, Jake Bobo was functioning quite well. No, it was higher.
It was like 4.9.
No,
4.9, maybe even 5 flat.
It was. And the only other the superstar I saw at wide receiver that ran a horrible time was Anquan Bolden. Anquan ran a 4.81.
Man.
And no one could cover him. So you do have those outliers. As a general rule, that's going to eliminate you, but not in the case of Anquan, not in the case of Jake Bobo, who had to fight through the hard way. Anquan still was drafted and was expected to be a player. Jake Bobo had to do it a different way. And so the beauty is he never has to run another 40 in his life. He just has to go out and play.
Hey, Charles, what did you make of the top quarterback prospects opting not to throw during workouts? And do you think that's a trend we see continue?
Yeah, this is a trend we've had forever. There's always people who aren't going to throw. This is nothing new. We used to rail about it. I wish if you get a chance, pull our tapes from 10 years ago and hear us. Oh, I can't believe he's not throwing. Right? We're on our porch screaming into the front lawn. Get off of it! Why are you not throwing, kids? And now you don't hear a peep out of us. It's just kind of standard operating procedure. You go how you want to go. So it didn't surprise us at all. But I have noticed that if the top guys choose not to throw, the other guys can't wait to throw.
Mm-hmm.
They want to fill in, and this is their chance to get the eyeballs on them. I don't see it because in the beginning when the top guys didn't throw, it put doubt in the minds of everyone else. They're like, well, maybe we shouldn't throw either. Maybe they know something we don't know. But now the other kids are like, no, I'm going to throw. Because finally there's a trust factor that me showing what I can do throwing does not correlate to them sitting in the stands and going, he was just 11 for 18 throwing it. Because you don't know what you're going to get. You don't have any timing. You don't have it. You don't know where the receiver is going to break. They're supposed to break at 15. They break at 12. They're supposed to break at 15. They break at 18. You see where I'm going with this. They just want to see you go back and do your drop, how you turn to open up to throw the football, how it comes off your hand. They want to see how you interact with people. If people gravitate towards you, then they start to see that maybe you're that quarterback that people want to be around. All those other things that go with it. And the rest of the group, they threw, and they responded and did well. And this is not going to hurt Shedeur Sanders. It's not going to hurt Cam Ward. They'll do their own pro days and go from there. It's just kind of expected. We're not surprised when someone doesn't throw, but we're deliriously happy when they do choose to throw.
Yeah, and that's the way I looked at Will Howard. Didn't have the greatest day throwing the football. And as I'm watching the combine with my son, I go, man, because he's used to throwing to two of the top receivers in the country, man. You got Emeka over there. You got Jeremiah. It's just the relationship and chemistry is different. So, of course, they're going to look at his performance and take it into account a little bit. But with Will Howard, do you think it was more important that he showed some of the things that you mentioned, like guys gravitating towards him and him interviewing well?
Yeah, absolutely. Those interviews, as you know, are crucial, right? So how you come off to different teams. And here's my favorite part of it. Stuff's going to leak out, right? There are going to be reports, okay? I'm quite sure you two have already seen the report that Shedeur Sanders came off as brash and arrogant, according to one, I think it was an NFC coach or something like that, right? So you're going to get these things. Well, to someone else, and let's say Shedeur did the same interview all the way across the board. To some other teams, they're like, boy, that kid's confident, isn't he? I need confidence in my quarterback. It's all in the eye of the beholder. It's all in how they perceive it, and then you go off from there. And then you will have some of these reports that come out. I mean, this sounds crazy, right? But we're playing football espionage. You're crazy about the kid, but you don't want anyone else to be crazy about it. So somehow you leak out a report that his interview was horrible, he was terrible on the board, couldn't interact well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then if you could find it, that team drafts him. Because they want you off somewhere else. Now, the idea that you're just chasing everyone away, I think that's an older scouting trick. I don't know that we do it and can get away with it quite the same today because everyone does such extensive research. But you also have played the game of ignoring people you really like. My favorite example was Jay Cutler when he came out of Vanderbilt. The Denver Broncos took him, I think, at 11. And then the word came out later that they'd had zero contact with Jay Cutler because Mike Shanahan was running the Broncos, and he ordered everyone to ignore him, don't talk to him. He's the guy I really want, but I don't want anyone else to know that we're interested. And they did it. So they scouted him stealth. They did everything kind of on the perimeter, on the fringe, watched him from afar, took his numbers, all that other stuff, but didn't spend any time with him so no one knew that they were interested.
I want to say Bobby Wagner was like that too with the Seahawks. Obviously a second rounder, a little bit different when there's less at stake for a day 2 pick, but
yeah. But you know something with Bobby, the tough part was, the famous story is Bobby didn't do the combine.
Yeah.
And that's true, but it's because he was sick. It wasn't that Bobby didn't want to do the combine. And I often wondered if because he didn't do the combine and put himself right out there. Remember, Utah State. So sometimes at Utah State at the combine who shows what Bobby Wagner is it alleviates a lot more concerns for people. I know that's gotten less and less. I'll be honest about it. I don't hear it nearly as much as I used to, but a lot of them are like, hey, he's at North Dakota State. Really love North Dakota State, but boy, I got to see him in the Senior Bowl line up with the big boys. So Gray Zabel, the offensive lineman, did that and was so good that guys kept challenging him. Like, I got to take on Gray Zabel. And Gray Zabel kept, okay, next, next, and just took them all on. And now he is sitting there in first-round conversation where prior to the Senior Bowl, we weren't having it. But if Gray Zabel comes out of North Dakota State, doesn't go to the Senior Bowl, doesn't play against those guys from the power conferences, sometimes you don't go as high as you probably should, because I think most people will lean towards the power conference guys as a tiebreaker because they've seen them do it against people of similar stature.
Hey, I have a theory. All right, I love the combine.
Yeah.
But there's something that I think we don't need to see anymore. You tell me what you think. I don't need to see a 300-pounder run 40 yards. Give me that 10-yard split, run 10 yards, and let's call it good. What do you say to that?
I have no argument against you. Zero. But, and the only reason I say but, it's going to be hard to get rid of it because it's another baseline tester that people have used forever. And do you know where it came from?
Where?
Paul Brown, the great Paul Brown. Paul Brown gave us so many things that we use today. He gave us a 40-yard dash. He gave us filming. He gave us film and grades. He gave us the full playbook. He gave us. I go on and on with all of his contributions to the game, but he picked 40, and it was an arbitrary number. But his reasoning was, 50's too far and 30's too short, and the average big play goes this far, and somehow it settled at 40, and off we went. I have no argument with you on taking it out. Let's just get to the 10-yard splits. But I think it's going to be very, very difficult to get people to not do it. And here's where you're also going to lose this year, and it's only this year. I don't remember anyone pulling up this year.
Nope.
I don't remember a hamstring. I don't remember a quad, right? And normally that's like a lock because that's what we always say when the big boys get up there. We're like, oh, God, here it comes. But I don't remember a single one. I was there all those days, so I will say, maybe I went into the ether for a while there. But overall, I was locked in. And I remember saying it to someone on our crew, and they're like, don't say it.
Don't jinx it.
The last group ran. He said, you're messing with the perfect game. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember anyone. Do you guys remember anyone pulling up? Because normally you have at least a few of those, we haven't. These kids are better trained than they've ever been before. There was some element of good fortune because sometimes you'd be better trained and not. I think we had the tight end from Texas, Helm. Turned out he sprained his ankle on his first 40. He kind of stumbled coming out, sprained his ankle, and then went back because he ran 4.9 something. And I went, whoa, what the heck just happened here? Because he doesn't look 4.9 on tape. Then he came back and ran 4.84, and I still thought that was slow from what I'd seen on tape. It turned out he had an ankle sprain. But how about this kid? Never told anyone, gutted it out, and finished all the drills.
Good for him.
We had the same thing with Donovan Jackson from Ohio State. I don't know what was going on with him, but we figured I think you guys may have seen it, right? He was laboring during drills. We're like, hold a minute, that's not Donovan Jackson. And it was so apparent. Chris Ballard, the GM of Indianapolis, the Colts, was on the field, and he took him aside and talked to him. And then he waved off medical people, the trainers and what have you. He came through one more time, and I just said to him, I said, hey, are you okay? And he says, I'm great. And I backed up like 10 steps because if he got his meat hooks on me, it's it for
Then
us.
you're a goner.
So
then you're a goner.
I'm done.
I
I'm
know.
finished. And so I said, yes, sir, and let him go. But there was something off for him. But linemen, especially offensive line, that pride, they're going to go until they drop. And he went through everything.
He is CBS Sports and NFL Network's Charles Davis. Charles, this has been so fun. This insight has been so fun. We have loved the stories. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Charles.
Hey, thank you for having me. You guys take care of yourselves, and a special hello to your son, okay?
Oh, thank you. All
Be
right.
good.
Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what's your NBA news for today?
I switched it up. I
We're
know
going
this is
4
4
rounds.
down territory. I'm going 4 rounds. You know why?
Okay.
Because it's March and there's absolutely nothing to talk about at some situations. So we're talking NBA. All you NBA lovers out there, I know you do. Here's my problem with the NBA right now. It's not a problem. The best players in the NBA are not from this country. They're just not. The best player in the game right now, in my opinion, is SGA. He's probably going to win the MVP award. The young man out of Canada, you listen to him speak, articulate. I love that dude. Has crazy game. 3 years in a row, he's been averaging over 30 points. In 2022 to 3, 31 points. 23 to 4, 30 points. 24 to 5, 32 points this year, and still maintaining 50 or more percent better, or 50% or better from field goal, which is crazy at the perimeter position. So now let's talk about what's going on with basketball in the U.S., all right? The Joker has won the MVP award 3 times. Embiid has won it. Giannis has won it a couple times. The last American to win the MVP award in NBA, who is it?
I don't know.
Curtis.
This is a Curtis question.
Last American to win NBA MVP.
Like James Harden?
James Harden.
Wow.
Back in 2018-19. Before that, there were 10 straight Americans in a row before you get to Dirk in 06 and 07. Then Steve Nash from Canada done his thing. So here's the comparison. NBA is the best basketball league in the world, right? The best soccer league in the world. It's arguable, but it's probably the English Premier League. There are 4 American players in that whole league. 4 American players. So the other countries are infiltrating our game, but we're not infiltrating their game, all right? We need some payback. Let's get some Americans in that EPL, but it all starts with the way that we groom our players, man. Our system is horrible here in the U.S. when it comes to soccer. It's all about money. It's not about development. They let their guys play for free. Meanwhile, I'm flying to Texas with little Michael and Jada paying tens of thousands of dollars for a tournament that we're probably not going to win.
Not with that attitude. Second down, a.k.a. second round. Mariners are in spring training. What stood out to you, but you really don't care?
Don't care. But we got to talk about it. All right, this is 4 rounds today, not 4 downs. 4 rounds. You know what? Calvin Yard the other day. Calvin Yard. Nice to see it. He's got 3 hits at 17 at-bats. I mean, absolutely nothing. He's batting like 197 right now. Luis Castillo. He gave up 2 bombs in 4 innings. So what? So what? He's trying things, right? He's working on that slider. Maybe he's working on that changeup that he showed the grip to Munoz. Who knows what's going on with Castillo, but at least he's out there. Julio Rodriguez, he's driven in 3 runs, and he's only struck out twice in 13 at-bats. I kind of care about that, though. I kind of care about that.
Because I want to care about
I want to care. I don't want to see Fodifo up there whiffing like he did a whole bunch of times with him and his comrades last year. So, Julio, you keep up the good work. And JP has walked twice so far, showing that good eye that we're used to seeing. Remember when JP used to just get on base every single time? You're not going to fool JP. So I'm looking at this. I don't care, but I do care at the same time. I care about JP having a good eye. I care about Julio not striking out. And it's nice to see Cal go yard. And I'm just going to attribute our dude Castillo giving up 2 bombs in 4 innings to him just trying some stuff. I'm out there trying things. It's like when you go to the golf course. My son had a trial for his golf team yesterday. He won his match. Let's go, Pops. And I'm just out there on the golf course. You know, I play hole 17, then I play number 11. I'm just trying some things. It don't matter what I score. I'm trying some things. That's how I see Luis Castillo in this moment.
Third round. Bump. What's cracking with the Kraken?
I'm not going to lie, that 3rd round threw me off for a second. What's cracking with the Kraken? We got to talk a little bit of hockey. Let's do the hockey, okay? They won 3 of their last 5 games, all right? Their last game against the Canucks, if your name started with a B, you scored a goal. Simple as that, all right? Got Beniers scored a goal, Borowkowski scored a goal, and then Bjorkstrand scored a goal as well. They beat them 6-3. But the jacked up part about the Kraken is when you look at their team stats, they are nowhere near the top, like 15 when it comes to all the major categories. When it comes to goaltending, last year that was something that you can count on. Goaltending, power play, they were better last year. This year they're not doing great with that. So now the Kraken, they doing what the Kraken do, man. And I think it's about time we have something to cheer about when it comes to the Kraken. But it ain't going to be this year because they are second to last in their division, right over the San Jose Sharks. For some reason, I thought that team disappeared. San Jose Sharks. I don't know why. For some reason.
Still here.
For some reason, I thought they didn't exist anymore.
We should have included them in the teams who got it bad with bumping.
Yeah.
Like, I literally forgot about that.
I thought they were gone. But, yeah, I used to have a San Jose Sharks sweater growing up. But, yeah, man, that's what's cracking with your Kraken. I mean, they play the Wild today at 7 p.m. They are at home, so we'll see what happens there. But nothing special going on with them. But if your last name started with a B against the Canucks, you scored a goal.
4th round. We had some breaking news earlier in the show about some big Seahawks roster moves. What do some of these roster moves mean?
It means that they are in full attack mode. They are activated. If you are a Top Gun fan, I remember growing up watching Top Gun. When they're ready to engage, there's this little cover that you flip over the missile button that you're going to hit, because you got to make sure you don't accidentally hit the button, So you flip that thing open and you're engaged. That's the way I see the Seahawks right now. It is Maverick, it is Goose, and they are engaged right now, and they're trying to find their targets all across the league. They're looking at these young men who just competed in the NFL Combine. They're looking at free agency, and they're saying, how do we make this defense better? How do we make this offensive line better? I believe Geno's going to get extended. I believe DK is going to get extended or not touched at all. It'd be crazy to me if they were to let that young man take his talents elsewhere. You need DK in this offense. So what does it mean to me? These guys are locked and loaded and ready to go, and I'm excited. We needed some news like this today.
Yeah.
We needed some news like this. Unfortunately, I still think Tyler Lockett is not going to be on this team.
Okay, so let's say that the next piece of news that we get is news of more releases before we get, additions, right? Free agency doesn't even start for another 10 days or so. What do you think is the next addition move? And that includes extensions.
Next is Geno. It's Geno. They talked on Friday, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they talk Friday, Saturday?
Yeah.
Geno sent us with the thank you, Lord, praying emojis. I'm just waiting for it to drop.
God.
You know what it's like? It's like waiting for the N1 mixtapes to drop back in the day. Remember those, Curtis? N1 mixtape?
Absolutely.
Waiting for them things to drop. Going to Foot Locker. Just buying some socks so I can get the VHS. That's what it feels like, waiting for N1 mixtapes to drop.
So not with you guys on this. Y'all remember now 24? The now CDs.
24. I can't believe you bought those. You didn't have a homie who can burn you CDs?
I did have burn CDs, but I also had now CDs. And the now CDs were organized to where it was like pop, like rap hip hop, and then in the second half it would be like rock.
Okay. I've never owned a Now CD.
Never? Oh,
Never.
I had.
They're still churning them out.
No, they're
Is it
not.
Now 512?
No, they don't have any CDs that exist
Oh,
anywhere.
you can
There's nowhere.
download them off Spotify.
Maybe like a
Apple
Spotify
Music.
playlist of like now.
I'll research what number they're up to.
Do they sell CDs anywhere?
They better not. That's a waste of money.
I mean, somewhere is like a 20-year-old that's like vintage. The way that I would look at an album and go like, I wonder if it sounds different when you play it. That's how they're feeling about a CD. Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
Tonight at 7 p.m., it's the Seattle Kraken hosting the Wild. That's going to be on ESPN Plus. Hype Train coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
We've been going position group by position group. We move on to safeties, Dave. So you got Julian Love, who's entering the first year of a 3-year extension. He had a great season. You got Kobe Bryant in the final year of his rookie deal. Rayshawn Jenkins is the most likely cap casualty here because he's got a $7.9 million cap hit. And if they release him, they save $5.4 million. He had some plays, but he didn't have $7.9 million cap hit plays.
I agree.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Music that moves your soul. Live at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, April 24th. Get tickets before they sell out at muckleshootcasino.com.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pen cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Shane Company engagement rings are expertly crafted to fit both your style and your lifestyle.
My wife's an artist and works with her hands. Shane Company helped me create a ring that's beautiful and sleek. She loves it.
Shane Company rings are crafted with care using high-quality materials, and we set each center stone by hand in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store. We also protect your ring, including the center stone, with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Let us help you find your perfect ring, in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Hey, Bill! Got a leak? Need heat? Call Southwest today.
Southwest Plumbing, the one to call.
If you're looking for a new Mazda, go see our friends at Mazda of Everett. With over 790 new Mazdas in stock at 11409 Highway 99 in Everett, they have something for every budget and credit type. Save up to $3,970 on new Mazda CX-5s. Come meet the team and see why they've been Washington's largest Mazda dealer since 2015. Exceptional service and always their lowest prices. Visit in-store or online at MazdaofEverett.com today. MSRP for stock number 26315 is $30,585.
I just had Asset Roofing come out and do a full inspection on my roof because I wanted to be proactive and handle any small problems before they became big problems, and they were extremely professional with their communication and recommendations. You really need an expert on your side, and Asset Roofing is on mine. Allow them to work for you, too. You can find out more at AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I Need to Know is coming your way in 15 minutes, so get your questions in now to the Mac and Jack's text line, 866-979-3776. Let's head to the station for Hype Train. It was reported earlier from Adam Schefter, but now it's official. The Vikings will not franchise tag quarterback Sam Darnold. That leaves him free to sign elsewhere in free agency, but this is your Hype Train. He won't. Sam will stay with Minnesota for 2025.
The best thing for him to do is stay put. But also the best thing for him to do is to shop around. See what else is out there. see who's willing to give him that $40 million that he is worth. But also, if Sam Darnold has learned anything, he's learned that relationships matter. Kevin O'Connell matters. Personnel matters. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. It's all set up for him over there. So he should try to stay in Minnesota. But something tells me that somebody else will snatch him up
Outbid.
for about 45.
45 is crazy.
And he going to leave, and I would suggest that he leaves. He's going to get $45 a year for three years somewhere out there. So, what am I? Am I on or off this? You tell me, Stacy.
No, you're off.
I'm
Because
off.
you think that while he should stay there, he won't.
He gone.
Curtis, the Vikings officially will not franchise tag Sam Darnold, which makes him a free agent, but he will stay with Minnesota for 2025. Bump is not boarding.
I am boarding. I think Sam Darnold stays in Minnesota for at least another season. I think he signs a contract that will have some outs after year one. Obviously, J.J. McCarthy is the future in Minnesota, but with the year that Sam Darnold had, minus the final 2 games of the year, that's a guy who I think Minnesota recognizes, like, yeah, this guy gives us a chance to compete in the NFC North, which is the toughest division in football. So, yeah, I think he's back. So, boarding that train.
Yeah, I think he might be too. While Sam Darnold's season was a career high in pretty much every single category, he was 5th in passing yards, had 35 touchdowns. I don't know that same production happens without Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. And while it's really tempting to want to go to the Raiders or really tempting to want to go to the Giants, Sam Darnold is not young, but I mean, mid-late 20s. Take like a 2-year deal with a team, and if you can continue to produce, you can get an even better deal with a team that's more set up for success.
Somebody go outbid him.
I mean, probably, but
You think he
should
says,
stay.
forget the money?
Yeah, I think
I'm
I
staying
think he
with the
should stay.
situation.
He's also a hero with Minnesota. I know the season didn't end well, but next up. Let me get to the next one here. I got too many hype trains to get to. Devontae Adams has been released. Aaron Rodgers has been released, and they will be on the same team this year.
God.
That's your next hype train.
They better not be on the same team. You guys have tried the group project. You sat next to each other in class. We need to separate you two now.
Those two
Aaron,
jokesters.
you go sit over there. Devontae, you go sit over there. No, they're not playing on the same team next year. They're not going to do that again, because if they do play on the same team, that means Aaron Rodgers is in control of this whole situation again. We tried that. The Jets tried it. They fired everybody. They brought all these players in. No, Aaron Rodgers has lost control of his situation now. You must be treated as not an average quarterback, but a quarterback that needs a job. And no, they're not going to be on the same team next year.
Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers will be on the same team in 2025. Curtis, as you know, Devontae Adams has only ever played with Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers. Are you boarding?
And I think it continues. Yeah,
I kinda
absolutely.
wanted to.
Boarding that train. It reminds me of the stage in which both of my kids have been in, Blair more so now than Willa, where if I get up and go to, let's say, the bedroom, I just hear footsteps right behind me. It's Blair. I get up and go to the bathroom. I hear footsteps right behind me. It's Blair. I go to her and Willa's bedroom. I hear footsteps behind me. It's Blair. Devontae Adams is my 1.5-year-old, and I'm Aaron Rodgers.
That's love, though.
That's
It is.
perfect.
It
That's a good
is.
analogy. No, I don't. I think it would be funny, but I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is playing in 2025. I haven't been sold on that yet. So I'm not going to board, and I'm going to move on to our next hype train. The Seahawks are making a number of moves already, releasing 4 veterans earlier today, including Dre Jones. The next Seahawks move we will hear about will be an Ernest Jones extension.
It better be. I was talking to Condotta, and I go, all right, priority number 1, what are we doing? DK, we doing Gino? He goes, simmer down, bump. Remember Ernest? I go, yes, I do remember Ernest. The 4th, actually. And he's the best linebacker this team has, and they have to get this done. So when you get rid of these guys, you open up some cap space like we talked about earlier, and you would think that gives you a way to make sure Ernest is paid. Bars. Let's go.
The next Seahawks move we'll hear about, an Ernest Jones extension. Bump is boarding this train. Curtis, are you?
I'll board as well. Yeah, I think we're going to see that happen before the start of the league year. I think before even a Geno Smith extension. I don't think there's anything brewing on the DK front. They've got a little bit more time to get that done. But I think Ernest Jones, we see that happen over the next before the end of the week.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
I'll board this train too. All aboard. All right. next one up. Oh, the Mavericks. Mavs. You trade Luka, you bring in AD, he gets hurt. You turn to Kyrie and say, save us, and then he tears his ACL. Mavs fans are currently the most tortured fan base in all of sports.
Well, we went through this. We threw the A's out there, but the A's have seen this coming for a while now. The fans have been preparing. The Cleveland Browns, they just know they can't get right. For years, they haven't been able to get right. Mariners fans, 20-something years, only one playoff appearance. But no, this one hurts the most because of the frequency. Like, it happened so quickly.
Yes.
It was like within 2 weeks, your season looks great. Hold on. First, it starts off with Luka gets traded. You're like, oh, what are we doing? 80 shows up, drops like 26 points and a half. Yeah, we got it. Bam, now he's hurt. Now Kyrie's playing 36 minutes. Yeah, but we still got Kyrie. And now he's done for the season. It happened so quickly. I got to go with the Mavs.
Mavericks fans are currently the most tortured fan base in all of sports. Curtis, are you boarding bump did?
Boy. They have shot to the top of these rankings, by the way, because no one considered that a tortured fan base a month ago. Now they are in hot pursuit of that title. I'll board this train. Yeah. I mean, that is just a lot to go through over the course of a month. I imagine Dallas sports radio every day is just like an airing of grievances. Again. Like, nothing good can ever happen. Even though, what was it? A little more than a calendar year ago, they won the World Series. But Cowboys, they're bad. Mavericks, they're all hurt or getting traded away. Yeah, that's a rough existence right now.
Yeah, I'm going to board that train as well, with emphasis on currently the most. And when we talked about this earlier, obviously we had a lot of Mariners fans texting in going, hello, like Angelina from Jersey Shore. But there's a weird pain you get used to that becomes dull over time, and then the conversation you become is, come on, do something. But like the quick succession of everything that happened here, as you guys mentioned, in a short period of time, and at least with the Mariners, it's like, well, maybe Julio becomes great. What if you didn't have Julio anymore? That's where the Mavs are right now. All right, get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. That's next.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
We are now speaking with the architect of your Seattle Seahawks.
How we doing, football fans? With Seahawks President of Football Operations and General Manager John Schneider.
My job is to do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks organization. I have to keep wrapping my mind around that and trying to communicate effectively.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's the standard the Seahawks defense needs to be held to under Mike McDonald?
The John Schneider Show.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah. Posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion. Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save over $1,000 in your first year versus other major carriers. Plus, ask how to get iPhone 16e on us. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment tax and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual savings vary.
Between his hobbies and decades of work in a boatyard, Philip had put his body through a lot.
I'm an avid fly fisherman and an avid skier. It takes its toll.
Not to mention one other thing.
I had a near-fatal motorcycle accident. Absolutely obliterated my lower left leg again.
Philip couldn't live with the pain anymore, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Listening to all these radio spots, I said, what do I got to lose?
What was your experience like with Dr. Wagner?
What I was so impressed with Mark about is that how often you have a surgery like this, and the guy calls you the next day to see how you're doing. I can't say enough good things about the guy, honestly.
And how are you feeling now?
I have no pain, none. 0.
Wow. So would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I'm a fan, believe me. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. It's Mike Salk here, and this summer you can experience breathtaking Cascade views, world-class dining, and of course the best entertainment. Elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. The hotel opens this summer with deluxe king and 2 queen rooms, premiums, grand suites, signature suites, and the breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. For more details, go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Do you need a new roof? Don't wait for summer to replace it. 3 Tree Roofing is here to help you save big this winter. Avoid summer's higher prices and longer wait times and protect your home's integrity now. Visit 3treeroofing.com for your free on-site estimate. Our certified installers make it easy and worry-free, no matter the season. Don't wait. Book your estimate today at 3treeroofing.com. Mention this ad and get $500 off your roof replacement. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
John here with Happy Hauler. We want to help get your unwanted items to those in need. Furniture and household items you plan on throwing away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill, and giving useful items a second happy home. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We work with over 20 nonprofits all over Western Washington to donate used items. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's what I need to know. Send any question you have to the Mac and Jack's text line. That number is 866-979-3776. I suddenly forgot it yesterday for no reason. I don't know why, but that's it for sure. Let's
don't
see.
you look at the text lines when you're saying it?
Well, now I copied and pasted it on our show sheet because it's like my mind just blanked. You know when your mind just gives up?
You said that number thousands of times.
Exactly. And then and then both me and Matt couldn't remember it either. We both like froze up and we were like, what's the number?
It was terrifying.
It was really weird. Okay. Send your questions into the Mac and Jack's text line. I'm going to start with a follow-up question. So yesterday we had a parent text in and say, hey, my kid is obsessed with eye black. He wears it all the time, and in theory, it's really cute, only we cannot get him to not wear it. And now my wife wants to find out a way where we're not having him wear it to bed. What do I do? Curtis suggested, hey, what about eye black stickers? Bump, you said...
That was the way to go.
Bump, you had a much more elaborate plan.
But then I deferred to the homie. It was like, yeah, that's probably the way to go.
But your initial suggestion was, how about this? Why don't you sneak into his room, put the eye black on, and then sneak in the morning and wash it off? You changed your mind in that segment, but...
He wasn't listening.
There was a follow-up from this listener who says, update, my 9-year-old with his eye black. Last night, my son said his goodnight and went to bed. 20 minutes later, I snuck in and I applied some eye black on him. He thought it was the greatest thing until my wife, who was pinning laundry away, came busting in there and caught me completely red-handed during application. So both of us were looking at her dumbfounded and speechless, and she's totally giving us the look, now I've got laundry duty.
Yeah, I mean, that's the price
Worth
you pay.
it, though.
Price
Worth
you
it,
pay.
though, because your kid thinks you're cool.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. And now your kid thinks you're super cool. Okay, let's see. What's the best offensive lineman? Who is the best offensive lineman, I should say, drafted by Schneider? I mean,
Is it Charles Cross? Damian Lewis?
before that, maybe Russell Okung.
Russell Kuhn?
Might be Russell.
Yeah, it's probably Russell, yeah.
So his first offensive lineman. What I need to know, will a wide receiver ever eclipse 2,000 yards?
Yes.
Yeah, we got
so
to
too.
17,000. I mean, they're going to play 18 games here pretty soon.
Yes.
So it's young jock. It's going down.
I mean, Calvin Johnson and Cooper Kupp have both had over 19.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson was 46 yards away from...
So
That was in
within-
16
2000.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's going down.
Absolutely insane. Yes, I think so too. What I need to know, what play is more exciting? Choose between these two. A game-winning buzzer beater or a play at the plate to end a game?
Freeman's walk-off grand slam in the World Series.
But what about a play at the plate?
Like throwing the ball?
No, like tagging someone out or being safe when you're
Yeah,
sliding
it's a
into
bang-bang
home.
play at the plate.
No,
Yeah.
it's a buzzer beater. all
Yeah,
day.
buzzer beater.
I thought we were talking just baseball play.
Oh,
at the
no,
plate.
like that kind of
If
moment.
it's
Yes.
walk-off home run versus buzzer beater.
Yeah, walk-off home run all day.
It's a walk-off.
World Series grand slam walk-off home run, to be
That's the-
specific.
Absolutely.
Freddie.
But just a play at the plate, no
Nah.
disrespect to catchers.
Nah. Unless
I gotta
we're,
go with
unless
the
we're
buzzer beater.
talking old school, you trying to run somebody over, Pete Rose type stuff.
All of a sudden you
all-star
stand
game.
up, you're like, let's go! Buzzer beater, the most popular
Yeah, for
answer
sure.
from listeners, too. 866-979-3776. What I need to know. What I need to know, says one listener. If Shedeur Sanders and Jackson Dart are both there at 18, do you see the Seahawks pulling the trigger on one of them? And if so,
Why are we even talking about
which
this?
one would
Why
you
are
want
we even
them
talking
to
about
draft?
this?
Because a listener
Isn't
would like
gonna-
to know.
Listener, stop drinking that whatever
But
you're
what
drinking
if?
right now. Stop smoking what you're smoking. Go to sleep and sleep it off. Why are we talking about this? It's not. I'm not
But
answering
what
this
if?
question. I'm not answering this question. I'm not. Why am I doing this? I'm not doing this. It's not even.
The answer
remotely
is Shedeur
realistic.
Sanders. The answer is Shedeur Sanders
You're wrong.
between the two.
You're wrong.
Oh, but then is it Jackson
I'm
Dart?
not talking about this.
You secretly
You're
have
wrong.
an opinion. You don't want to
You're
share it
wrong.
because you don't like this hypothetical. What I need to know. Let's see. Next week, what days do you think will have the most action during free agency? The legal tampering period, so like a couple of days before, or the start of free agency?
I think the start of free agency. That's when you let all the dogs out and they roam in the streets. You snatching them. Peter, come get them.
Well, the thing about the start of free agency is all those deals also become official. So even though we know they're all happening, all of a sudden it's like so and
Bing,
so.
bing, 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 bing,
Yeah,
bing,
this
bing.
trade's official, and it just feels
Shefty gonna be
constant.
working.
Oh, nonstop. Let's see what I need to know. Da-da-da-da. It's just people tweeting at you. You guys need to send in questions. What's better, drumettes or flatties? What are flatties?
They're the flat wings.
Drumettes.
Drumettes all day.
Yeah.
I don't like the flat ones.
I didn't know they were called drumettes. First time I've heard of
I guess I call both of them wings.
it. That's what I call them.
They're both wings. Yeah, that's the correct answer. Curtis, are you in agreement?
Yeah, there's more work to be done when eating a flat.
Yeah. Becomes surgical.
Yeah, and I don't like that. What I need to know. What is the most bizarre, weird piece of food you ever put in your mouth?
I tried octopus.
Did you like it?
Disgusting.
Was it like breaded and fried, or did it look like you were eating?
No, I was dressed up like, you see the tentacles and all that stuff, right? But it was on like a piece of bread with marinara and stuff. Like, I tried. I couldn't do it.
I think snake. I had like the tiniest bite.
Really?
Yeah.
How was it?
I was afraid to try it, so I couldn't even tell you how it tastes because I took the tiniest piece possible. Yeah.
I've had gator. It tastes like chicken.
Yeah. Let's see what I need to know. Bump, is Tiger gonna win again?
Yeah, he's going to win like one of his tournaments, like the Genesis or an Invitational or something. I think the majors are done. If Tiger were to win a major, y'all thought I was acting a fool Apple Cup in the fall? If Tiger wins a major,
You're gonna be insufferable.
it's y'all. Come on now. This is for the old
Absolutely
heads.
insufferable.
Come on.
What I need to know. Since the regular season is about to start, what are the best fries you've ever had at a ballpark?
At a ballpark?
Like garlic fries?
Yeah, garlic, but then that breath be humming.
Right. It's the price you pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I got on recently? Sweet potato fries are bombing me right
They're
now.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say something.
Uh-oh.
Garlic fries smell better than they taste. Like they smell amazing, and then you actually eat them, and you're like, the garlic doesn't quite. Matt, you're getting so upset right now. Say it into the mic to my face, Matt.
Stacy, you are just saying stuff to say stuff at this point. You do not actually believe that. You are
I do.
just
No, I
being
think I do because I was just talking, and I was just thinking about it, and I
Garlic
realized the
fries
last time I had
don't
garlic
smell
fries,
good.
the pieces of garlic just felt a little out of place. The chunks of garlic felt a little out of place, and I found myself kind of shaking it off.
Why do you like being contrarian so much?
I don't. I actually don't. I want to be liked by everyone.
Well, your food takes tell a different tale.
I felt vulnerable with you guys, and I thought this was a space where I could
Vulnerable.
share. I thought I could tell you this. Fine, I take it back.
This has never and will never be a safe space.
All right, you guys. That will do it for us today. Make sure you check out the Bump and Stacy podcast if you missed any part of the show. Thank you so much to our guests today. For Michael Bumpus, Curtis Rogers, Matt Nelson, I'm Stacy Ross. Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
We've been going position group by position group. We move on to safeties, Dave. So you got Julian Love, who's entering the first year of a 3-year extension. He had a great season. You got Kobe Bryant in the final year of his rookie deal. Rayshawn Jenkins is the most likely cap casualty here because he's got a $7.9 million cap hit. And if they release him, they save $5.4 million. He had some plays, but he didn't have $7.9 million cap hit plays.
I agree. Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning, your crown is disappearing. Hair loss had me feeling like I was losing my identity altogether. Well, I've got some good news. It's a simple one-day treatment that worked for me. The Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. It starts growing new hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly memberships. Those can help retain what you have. But what if you want your own natural hair in specific areas like I did? You decide how much, how thick, and where. From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to the world-class leading doctors like Dr. Perungo, it's not a maybe your hair will grow, it's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 425-449-8185. Advanced Hair is the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and they are the team that I personally recommend. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The Gene Simmons Band, live Tuesday, April 8th at Muckleshoot Event Center. He's the God of Thunder. He's going to rock and roll all night and bring you an unforgettable night of head-banging rock and roll. Get tickets now at MuckleshootCasino.com. The Gene Simmons Band, only at Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. Call 800-948-7878. That's 800-948-7878. 800-948-7878.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees.